Did I see that? See what? Did I miss something big? Da 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 dum 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 da da dum da 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 dum da 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 dum. Let's open up this imager link too. Dum 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 dum. Dum 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 dum. Dum bum 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 bum. How many pictures are there? Some pictures? It's a lot of pictures. 31! Holy shit. Offer your legendary potential to the Weaver to reforge or consume according to her design. To replace a prefix with experimental prefix. Look at this. Do 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 boom. So you got pearls of the swine here. Look at that. Ooh. Did they talk about it? Double lizard tail chance. Wait, do we know what tails do? Killing shades no longer grants corruption to your timelines. Purge horizons, cool. A random shade of Orbis can sometimes ambush you in your echoes. Normal item drops and it scales off the distance like any other shade. Wouldn't it be wild if Shade of Orbis just randomly showed up in your echoes? That'd be crazy, wouldn't it? Boom, 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 boom. It's important. When you're BSing with Twitch chat, it's important to commit to the BS. No matter what somebody says, you have to yes and it. Even if it's right. Boom, 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 boom. Gloves. What's this? Body armor. Belts. Jewelry, amulets. This is boots, isn't it? We do boots. Boots are fun. Who doesn't like boots? We're gonna go over a lot of stuff today. And I guess we're gonna watch some of Try's thing as well. Because I haven't. I can see the overview on Reddit that Gavrin posted. And we'll take a look at that. We're gonna catch up on things. Because I didn't stream yesterday. I don't know what was said yesterday. Deterministic. Deterministic definition make the boys go crazy. You just X'd out. Was it bad? It's going on right now, isn't it? The Pee-wee thing? The first part was so bad. Wait, they did it in 2 parts? Did they take a break in the middle or something? Strange. I think we'll wait like 17 minutes. And then we'll start chatting, okay? Phased. Dude, go back in the VODs and clip it. I was saying, like, I really hope Last Epoch just stands their ground. You know? Believe in your game. Last Epoch's a good game. Just believe in yourself. Listen, I was busy. I was watching the end of. It's season 2, right? Because season 1 already ended. I was watching the end of season 2 of Solo Leveling. I was catching up on things last night. And now tonight we'll catch up on Last Epoch things. And then soon we'll have patch notes. You know, it'll be fun. Bow, 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 bow. Yep. Gav, what's going on? Deterministic 1 LP slams. Wait, what? Do you just tune into the stream without reading the title of the stream? People do that? On my Twitch.tv? Watching Solo Leveling and hating on minions? Valid critique of the stream. Valid critique. His minions have like slightly better AI than my minions do. Determinism in my video game? More common than you think. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Deterministic forward guard viability in a world that might be called the Terra on a Tuesday afternoon while you're upside down. You think Forge Guard's gonna be good? Forge Guard's getting buffed, isn't he? He can like trade in movement speed and instead get 10 block chance. That's a buff vibe, I heard one. Right? Your statue build? I love it. No. Fuck no. What if I can just like be moving at all points in time so that my skill auto casts for me? It sounds really good, doesn't it? As long as you're moving, your skill auto cast? No, 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 no. What? No, that's devouring orb, homie. Nah, it's the cooler warpath. Come on. It's like if warpath scaled off spell damage. Oh, they looked cool, didn't they? We'll talk about that too. We have 2 forum posts to look at, and then we have the talkative try thing to go over as well. Da 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 da. You like that? Good. I feel like that's the most important feedback that you can give to EHG, right? Like, you're the Forge Guard guy. If you like having your leg chopped off, that's, you know, gasoline. Oh my god, look at that thing. Hit me. Oh! You should find somebody out there who only plays oh my god. Find somebody out there who only plays Spriggan form and get those boots that say you cannot move, you know what I mean? Like you and that person could just like buddy up. The Forge Guard guy. I mean, kind of. Technically, Master Sword is the sword plus Sentinel guy. He just also randomly hates VKs. I don't know why. I think it's like some kind of like complex. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But like, you've played Paladins before. I feel like I've never seen you play a VK. Did you play VK? You play VK, don't you? I feel like you hate VK because it's good. Is that true, or am I putting words in your mouth? You just want all 3 to be viable. Yeah. Like, one of them's already not garbage. So you gotta spend your time with the other ones. It's like No Child Left Behind. You know, like VK, he's reading at a 6th grade level. He's doing fine. Forge Guard's like not. There's maces over there. Come on, dude, don't give me mace. Bonk. Alright, in 9 minutes, we'll talk about stuff. 9 minutes is like a sufficient amount of time to get people to come to Twitch chat, right? Actually, you know what I ought to do? What I really ought to do is check whether someone else is streaming right now. Because, like, in the interest of not repeating myself 1,000 times. I should use my deductive reasoning skills and determine whether we're about to be raided by somebody. You know what I mean? Chad, are there any other Last Epoch streamers right now? There's always gonna be like one person who has no mic, no camera, and two VTubers who look like a dog. But like aside from those, is there anyone else? I'll just check myself. Hold on. Who's streaming right now? Juice Bags is streaming. Didn't Juice Bags host us like a week ago or something? I feel like the answer is yes. I don't know the username though. I've never watched this stream. Okay, so we can like pretty safely just talk about spoiler stuff. Da, 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 da. Good. I want to. I don't want to sit around and play Mana Strike, dude. I want to talk about spoilers. I'm going to talk about what build I'm playing next league. I was just telling my wife, it kind of feels like the calm before the storm. I was like, I don't know if today's stream is gonna be like 10 minutes long, or like an hour, or like a normal like 4 hours. I don't know, like if I have to like wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. A lot of things I don't know right now, Chen. Yeah, that's kind of good. I guess it doesn't have intelligence on it. I think it's garbage. This is spirit. Why am I doing Spirits of Fire? Dude, what's wrong with me? You know, let's go do a boss. Let's go do a boss real quick. With no Harbinger. How's the family? Calm before the storm, dude. The family is about to grow by 33%. So, 33% increase in family. Get him with that damage, dude. No upgrade. More family. All right, listen. Let's go to the screen here. And I'm going to start pulling stuff up, okay? Let's pull up Yeah, let me pull up yesterday first, okay? Tomb the Erase Mega Thread. I think day one was this. Because I didn't stream yesterday. Twitch drops, you know about this. Gonna be right back. Oh, should I wait for you? Paladin Smite or VK Rive? Not even Devouring Orb? You can use a sword with Devouring Orb, dude. Use like a katana with spell damage on it. Let me read, okay? Season 2. Travelers will find new challenges. In the model of a fate placed by the Weaver, Titan, who seeks to create a new world free from the void and other imperfections. In your echoes, you will find a chance to uncover tombs and cemeteries of the erased, which are new side zones filled with the Weaver's experiments and flawed creations. They are the foundation for interacting with the new endgame systems in Season 2, and they represent a new foray into procedurally generated side zones, ensuring that each area is unique and differente. Possessed monsters gain new ability. Wait, breaking the cocoons will release the souls, which will then flee and possess nearby monsters. Okay. Got it. Kind of like tormented spirits. Possessed enemies gain new abilities, increased health and damage, and when slain, they drop memory amber. A new currency used in the Weaver's faction. You want to collect as much as you can throughout the zone. After reaching the end of the tomb, challenging one of the Gold Thread Fate Weavers. What kind of name is that? You have an opportunity to enchant your idols, so we'll have pictures of those in a moment. Half an hour. Woven faction. With each rank, Mass will sell you new woven echoes, an alternate reality constructed by the Weaver that's been captured in physical form. You'll be able to conquer these unique echoes by placing them in your timeline using the altar of the Weaver. By completing a woven echoes and progressing through the woven ranks, you will earn points that can be spent in the Weaver tree, allowing you to influence the model of the fate. Got it. So the Weaver tree. Do we have a full Weaver tree yet? Loot lizards. Place a weapon or jewelry item to imprint it on this slot to have a small chance to drop a pile of similar items when killing enemies. So you put a red ring in there, and then you drop a small pile of red rings. Okay. Nah, it's not what it says, but it's what I want. Woven Echoes. Woven Echoes are fragments of Weaver's vision of the new world and offer new and unique challenges that are not found anywhere else. Woven Echoes are new items that can drop from within tombs and cemeteries or be purchased from Mask, this Haven of Silk, the Woven Faction Hub, in exchange for Memory Amber. There are 36 total, providing a variety of content. And a new endgame bosses like the Drael Queen, a tremendous insectoid broodmother, and the Anthropode Dragon, a paradox of fire and ice. You can find Uber Aberoth too. Only highlight parts of it, gotcha. Idle enchanting, homie. We know all this stuff. Heretical idols can have 4 affixes, 2 normal affixes with no tiers, and 2 enchanted affixes up to tier 7 when fully converted from Weaver's Touch. No, that's a worm. That's a chrono worm you're thinking of. If you're not happy with the affixes, you can re-roll at any time. This will remove the first things. Choose the second one. In addition, there's something called Weaver Idols. You may also find new Weaver Idols of Small, Minor, previously known as Small Ligonian, Stout, and Humbles, which are 1x2s and 2x1s, that can roll affixes from a new pool exclusive to these subtypes. Weaver Idols always have at least one of these more powerful affixes, with a chance to have another, but most often the second affix will be from the standard idol pool. New Weaver's items, sure. Season 2 does stuff. I think we've seen these already, right? Spiders on melee hits. Doomstar. Kind of looks like minion item. Amulets, minion stuff. Or Weaver's Fang. Sure. Pardon me, supporter items. So the capybara is real? The Woven Templar. Oh, I have numbers for you, chat. Do we know the price of everything, chat? Do you know the price of all the packs? It's supposed to be written somewhere. I'm not sure if it actually is. It's on Discord. Yeah, I know it's on Discord. I don't know where on Discord it is. The most expensive one's 60. That's the only thing I remember. Oh, listen, if it matters, you can go look it up. That's how I posted. The podcast happened. The Talkative Try thing? Yeah, it did. We're looking at yesterday's stuff, and then we'll talk about today's stuff. 40 and 60 for the last two? Yeah, that sounds right to me. What are we doing here, Chad? Boom. 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 Is it good? Yeah, there you go. 10, 30, 40, 60. There you go. 10, 30, 40, 60. You think they're ugly? Rude. Well, see, I've got in-game points. And like I want to spend my in-game points. I don't want to spend American points. I want to spend EHG points. You know what I mean? Banked? Do you mean EHG dollars or do you mean like American dollars? Yeah, exactly. EHG dollars, yeah. How many? Yeah, a lot, dude. What the fuck? Okay. So, honestly, very little going on here. Okay, let's take a look at this chat. This is from today. This is real exciting. I gotta say, just like the fact that they're shouting out more ball people. This makes me feel things, right? Look at that handsome devil. Makes me feel seen. Makes me feel welcome. Bald is justice. Shh. Sure. It's true. Alright, here you go. Shave your head. Shave your head. It's like a mirror. Just shave it, Chad. Fellas, shave your head. I promise you'll look better. Alright. Here's some stuff. We got a new skill. Heartseeker. Alright, how about Heartseeker? Fuck Heartseeker, dude. Playing range skills? That's cheating. Sentinel is hot. Primalist feels like what some dude thinks a woman wants. Yes. You read my mind? Are you agreeing with the melee range thing or with the hot dude thing? It's okay to say both. Yeah. dudes! Alright. With detonating arrow, multi-shot, and hail of arrows all being garbage, we needed one skill that was good. Heartseeker is capable in hit damage and damage over time. With Heartseeker, you'll find a new mechanic, recurve chance. What are the numbers they gave? 157. If you're at 157, you're guaranteed 3 recurves. Which means 4 hits, right? 3 recurves means 4 hits. Cool. Jump, bum, 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 bum. Pardon. There's gonna be so many Heartseeker Andys, dude. Like, it looks fucking disgusting. I don't want to play it. Bum, bum, bum. As with all the skills in Last Epoch, Heartseeker comes with a full skill tree, allowing you to specialize the skill extensively. Not limited to simple numerical changes. You can change its behavior to emphasize the exact role you're looking for the skill to fulfill. Focus on recurve chance to maximize the number of repeated hits, trigger puncture to share the love with other enemies, or a combination of the above. Minimum recurve chance, completely nuts, disgusting, dude. I got called out in the 7th comment. I can't wait yours TLDR and builds on Heartseeker. Yeah. Yeah! Yeah. Can I see who else hearted it? Oh, it's a random person. None other than Brave Boobs 1. Brave Boobs 1 if you're out there. Minimum recurve chance. Arrow of the Ravager. Heartseeker has an additional chance to recurve. It deals more damage, multiplicative, but has a cooldown. Cooldown 3 seconds. But it allows you to build cooldown recovery speed. And then black arrows down here. Behind this node, you find the node. It provides additional charges and a refresh. Refresh the charge when you pick up a black arrow. You know what this means? This means that if you're trying to one-shot Aberoth, you take this node, right? You just assume that you're gonna high roll for the next 10 minutes while you kill the enemy. Right? Done. Take it. That's kind of cool. I don't hate it. Boom, 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 boom. One click. It's not a one shot, it's a one click build. Heartseeker has additional chance to recurve, scaling with dexterity, 0.5 per point. Pretty sick. Without going out of the way, you can get like, I don't know, 100 dexterity. I've seen builds with 200 dexterity, but that's like crazy. I think if you're stacking an attribute, you can get 100 of it. When directly used, Heartseeker arrows have a chance to grant mana and health on use or on hits. Maybe. Yeah. Heartseeker hits have a chance to apply frailty and shred armor, but it no longer seeks the targets when the first hit dies. When the first target dies. That's fine. The helmet a node. 3 seconds. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. When it dies, you should puncture nearby stuff. We saw this one, right? Looks amazing. Puncture is not a high damaging skill, even if used for ailments. But it is screen-wide application of damage, which can really add up. Additional cold resistance scaling with your overcapped with your cold overcap resistance? Oh, that's new wording, isn't it? I misread this the first time. Additional cold resistance scaling with your cold overcaptures. Normally it says uncapped. And I get to talk about how uncapped it means without respect to the cap. But overcapped is a new phrase that I don't think we've seen before. So it's only the bit over 75? Is that it? I would think so. Converted cold damage does stuff. True. Convert to fire damage. Dragon Fang is a buff. Rather than a skill modifier, it affects all bow spell throwing damage. Potentially up to 20 stacks for a total of 80 spell damage, 80 throwing damage, 80 bow damage. It's pretty good. This one's exciting. So we haven't seen the real wording of this thing yet, right? You're sad? Come on, dude. So recurve chance with Heartseeker. Throwing... Hey, Juice Bags, what's going on? You want to see we're going 50 to infinity recurves? I mean, that's exactly what happened, right? Juice Bags, everyone else who's just not coming over, first of all, welcome. I didn't stream yesterday, so we looked at the spoilers from yesterday, and currently we are looking at the spoilers from today. After we read through this forum post, we will take a look at the overview of the Talkative Try interview, and then we'll click through it and kind of watch a little bits and pieces of it too. Heartseeker counts as a throwing skill and scales with throwing damage instead of bow damage. You're limited to one active Heartseeker. If you have no active Heartseeker and you're in combat, you throw one at a nearby enemy with a 3-second cooldown. Is that any good? Cinder Strike? Oh, you wanna be like bow, spam, Cinder Strike to get the oil coating. And then you wanna like proc your Heartseeker? Yeah. So here's a question for you. Would you rather spam bow Cinder Strike to stack oil coating? Or would you rather spam bow Heartseeker to build up Dragon Fang? True. You could do that. But like, which one do you want to spam? You want to spam both of them? Well, if you're spamming both of them, you're probably not doing the 3-second cooldown. You spam Cinder Strike, and then on cooldown, you use this thing and hope for a bunch of recurves. Interesting. It's a thought. It's a thought. I like it. Being limited to one Heartseeker seems like a pretty big cooldown, or a pretty big penalty. Like, it automates it. Yeah. Do, do, do. So if you're spamming both Heartseeker and Cinder Strike, really? The puncture node requires limit 1 anyway. The puncture node does? Yeah, there you go. One active Heartseeker kills it for DPS, makes more proc support. I agree with you. I'm low on the helmet. I think limiting it to only one makes me feel like I'm only going to use it for armor shred or something. Or maybe getting mana. I don't know. What's that mana node say? When directly used. Got it. Can a Heartseeker maintain Meteor? What do you think? Looks fun. I hope so. I apologize. I'm coughing. Alright, so Heartseeker looks like one of the most busted skills that's ever been added to the game. You want to? Okay, so here's my hot take. I think the people who are going dot are making a good decision for the early game. I think crit will be much better late game. You're gonna league start it? I think a lot of people are gonna league start it. This is gonna be like your new favorite skills fixture. I can't imagine that it wouldn't be. It looks nutso. I feel less strongly about the bow damage versus throwing damage versus spell damage stuff. I do feel like there's gonna be a lot of people who are playing one of the two proc bows. I can't imagine going like anything other than two proc bows. Like I know Carve was showcasing it with Drell cores for the -3 mana cost, which I guess is useful. That is a lot of recurve chance. It's true. I feel like people are going to use like Dragon Song or what do you call it? Reign of Winter. But I guess that's not really a hot take, is it? Those are just like the easy standout bows that anybody would think to use. The ailment stuff seems like it just seems so easy to play. Okay. Heartseeker is not limited to the above modifiers. You'll find other nodes. Consume shadows. Ooh, for extra Heartseeker attacks. Heartseekers drop black arrows. Bleed chance, poison chance, crit chance, multi chance, recurve stacking chance, bonus chance. Rogue comes with a party of brand new way to make enemies feel the pain. Oh, baby. Okay, so this is boring. Let's go talk about the exciting stuff instead. Sentinel rework. Volatile reversal is the best skill in the game. Neither Sentinel nor Volatile reversal has been unpopular. In fact, Volatile reversal has been very popular, but not for a good reason. The current version of Volatile reversal offers very powerful global bonuses and as such has been a mainstay in almost every Sentinel build. Only the good ones. While having a support ability isn't problematic, Volatile reversal features a very unique mechanic, relocating the player back in time. With the skill used for its passive global bonuses rather than the mechanical effects, this left the skill in an unhealthy position where it felt annoying for many players, new players. People fucking hate Volatile reversal. People hate Volatile reversal because they only played it for 10 minutes. Oh my god, what did it completely... It is so good! And fun. Yeah, best skill in the game and the most fun skill in the game. Just a super fucking fun skill. And they're like, well... Okay, they had to change it. It's good that they're changing it. I'm just sad, that's all. Yeah. Yeah, but like... I'd lock it in. I'd still use it in hardcore. 100%. Yes! And it's still the most fucking fun skill in the game. Alright, because of this, we reworked it. With Sentinel was being propped up by Volatile reversal, reworking it to be a more individually interesting skill rather than unfun support. Not unfun for most people. Thus, with Season 2, we're both reworking Volatile reversal into a new skill, with an entirely new skill tree and mechanics, as well as providing many buffs and changes across the Sentinel skills and passives to help Sentinels Etera-wide stand on their own without leaning heavily on a single skill. Here's what it does. Combo ability that jumps forward in time. Recast within 3 seconds. Yeah. EAG Steve, what's going on, homie? Rather than being a supporting skill, Volatile Reversal is making a grand reappearance as a melee traversal combo skill. As a 2-part combo skill, Volatile Reversal allows you to teleport enemies, land an area melee attack, and allowing for further follow-up before reactivating and teleporting back in time. Okay, so initially, people are QQing that this skill has a long wind-up time. It does kind of have the same wind-up time as Sync Strike. And, like, I've died to Sync Strike, too. Having a slow wind-up ability. Or wind-up time. I don't know. We'll see. Keep going. Where's my camera? Is my camera in the way? I don't think it is. I mean, like, so Sync Strike is annoying. Can I move this over? Hold on. Yeah, that's better. It's free real estate, dude. Move everything to the left side. So Volatile Reversal Specializations. We saw this thing here. Let's keep reading. Engagement, disengagement. Well, it may be noticed that the skill offers added spell void damage for vitality scaling. The skill only deals melee damage by default. Vitality scaling is offered for optional spell-based sub-skills in the tree. Gotcha. Cool. Let's see. When you jump forward in time, all your Devouring Orbs are pulled forward with you, triggering a Void Rift. But Volatile Reversal costs additional mana. Okay. The trigger of Void Rift. Gotta see the Devouring Orb skill tree to see how good that's gonna be. We'll see. There's so many teasers. We're gonna look at those in a moment. We have not looked at that stream yet. This sounds very exciting. With another convergence, Volatile Reversal supports your Devouring Orbs by pulling them toward you every single time. Why cast new Devouring Orbs when you have perfectly good orbs on the field already? Just bring them along for a field trip. When you jump forward in time, your existing Devouring Orbs become older, so they expire sooner. Or they become younger. How young? Why would I want them to be older? To like deal more damage the longer they're in play or something? Making them younger seems good. Right? Because they stay around longer? What's the payoff for making something older? I can make my Devouring Orbs more mature. I want to see the skill tree for Devouring Orb. Explode? I guess so. We'll see. Volatile Reversal's second combo ability now jumps you forward in time, so you can go like jump. Yeah, we don't really know the justification for this yet. I think we don't. Boom. Does the Sentinel only look to the future? Maybe. Reclaimed action. When you travel at least 4 meters by jumping forward in time, your next direct melee attack or spell is guaranteed to echo. You can have a guaranteed echo. You could have a guaranteed echo. Void Cleave? Does this give non-VK an echo? Undoubtedly, no, it does not. Because it says if it's able to. And the only thing that makes something able to echo is by being VK. When the Devouring Orbs get old enough to then file the taxes, hopefully. What's a Void Knight without echoes? There we go. What's this thing? When you directly use Volatile Reversal, you now also cast a Void Bolt at up to 3 enemies near your arrival location. When you directly use Volatile Reversal, you now also cast a Void Bolt at up to 3 enemies near your starting location. Arrival and starting location. You know what's strange about this? Why Why is the mana cost +3 red here, and the mana cost +3 is whites over on this side? What's that all about? Why is this like a negative, like a bad +3? This is like a good +3. Do you think they have time to fix this? I want to forge guard with legs. Steve! As mentioned earlier, Volatile Reversal can be specialized towards spell damage. You can do Void Bolts. Okay, so this was like the little picture at the beginning, right? This thing? Like, that looks sick, doesn't it? I wonder how many skill points it takes to make those relevant. That's some clear speed right there, dude. Holy. Okay. Incipient. Okay, so Void Bolts return to you. All returning Void Bolts can hit the same targets again. This means that in the cast, that a single cast of the Void Bolt spell can hit a single enemy 4 times. Okay. Single cast of the Void Bolt. But you can't cast a Void Bolt, right? Because there is no Void Bolt spell? This should say like a single cast of Volatile Reversal could hit an enemy 4 times with a Void Bolt, right? Because like you get 2 casts of Void Bolt. Eh, it doesn't matter. Anywho. 6 projectiles per cooldown. You're holding the line. You gain the frenzy buff while you're able to jump backward in time. Automatically bombing the enemy sounds good. Does look good at first glance. We'll see. When you're able to jump backward in time, a percentage of your armor mitigation also applies to damage over time. Up to 20%. That's pretty sick. Volatile Reversals jump forward has a significantly shorter maximum distance, but its cooldown is reduced. Okay. And more? You'll find options that allow you to convert Volatile Reversal into fire damage, grant Void Essences, trigger Abyssal Echoes, or increase the damage options for Volatile Reversal itself. The new Volatile Reversal offers a completely new playstyle and new build opportunities. I'm looking at Devouring Orb, and I'm like frothing at the mouth, dude. I want to play Devouring Orb. More. Alright, how about Sentinel changes? Symbols of Hope. Not Sigils of Hope. So now every 2 seconds, summon a symbol that orbits you, causing you and your allies' attacks to deal 3 additional damage. Activate to consume the symbols, granting 100 ward and 5% less damage taken per symbol for 3 seconds. You can have 3 symbols at a time. I'll completely agree with you. Like Volatile Reversal, sigils often became an annoying factor. Yeah, a lot of people hate them. Just don't play Sentinel, dude. As a buff skill that required regular reactivation to maintain passive bonuses, it ended up being more of an interruption to gameplay without a fun effect or simply being autocast. True. Rather than gaining a sigil upon using an ability, the change to symbols of hope now causes the player to gain symbols passively over time, and activating it gives you DR. So this is like quote-unquote fixed Flame Ward. I'm excited to see how this plays. Flame Ward feels great to play. Lots of player expression in that. Hopefully Symbols isn't just worse than that. Hopefully it's not just a worse Flame Ward. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. It's very... It looks like a really good change. Say it like that. Yeah, but like there's other things going on, right? Like when your Flame Ward's down, you're squishy as fuck. And when your Symbols of Hope are down, your baseline is much higher because like, you have a bunch of armor. You maybe you have a shield too, right? Like when your Flame Ward's down, you really are quite squishy. So this is like lower top end but higher bottom. Maybe. We'll see, dude. We'll see. Orion Sunseal. True. Orion Sunseal. Of course, passively generating sigils was previously the domain of the unique item Orion Sunseal. Orion Sunseal now increases the rate at which you passively generate symbols and offers a circuit breaker, activating symbols of hope when you're below your endurance threshold to automatically consume symbols for defensive and offensive bonuses. Yeah, cool. I like it. It's still got percent armor on it, still got healing effect on it, still a relevant base type. Yeah, looks good. What Time Rod? So, I like Time Rod. I like the change to it. Time Rod's thematic because it only has 12 stacks for like 12 arrows on a clock. Dread is famously low on this. He thinks that there will be exactly one Time Rod build, and there'll be like the skill combination that allows you to most take advantage of all these more multipliers, and then they're just like, there won't be other builds that use Time Rod. I am more hopeful for Time Rod. I hope, I don't know, but I hope that it'll have more than just one build that makes use of this node. What's the node do again? Time Rod chance 30. Time Rod damage per 1% chance to slow with void skills. Does it include slow chance? Is it only specifically slow chance with void skills? Or does that also include like generic slow chance? Time Rod damage per 1% Time Rod chance with void skills. Time Rod damage per 1% attack or cast speed. You assume generic? I hope generic. Because like there's things that give you Time Rod chance, but they don't say Time Rod chance with void skills. So, you know what I mean? Oh yeah, all multiplicative. Yeah, whichever one's the lowest. So it's like it's 3 separate more multipliers. 1, 2, 3, where my mouse is, and then the speed one just cares about whichever one's lowest. So you build throwing attack speed, cast speed, and melee attack speed, I guess. So Frenzy's pretty good. That's what I hear. I guess Frenzy gives you 20% more damage, huh? It's pretty sick. What's this? With the Sentinel rework, a total of 65 passives have been changed across all the masteries. There's a lot in the patch notes, not a lot here. Forge Guard is getting a very impactful node that we've already seen. This is the node that cuts off your legs. For those of you who have never thought about how slow Sentinels are definitely the slowest of the masteries. Or sorry, of the 5 starting classes. And turning haste into block chance is like, it's interesting. It's definitely interesting. I don't like it. The sword axe node we're talking about? Oh, sure, for attack and cast speed. Yep. You deal less damage. You have 10% less attack speed. You can't move. I don't know. Cool. Monument of Protection. Alright. What's this one? Sword of Rye. The Paladin Capstone node, found at the end of the passive tree, now offers a power to warrant a position. Sure. Not only offering a significant amount of melee ignite chance, 20 melee ignite chance per point. It gives 120. Wait, how much? 140? 140? 140 melee ignite chance. It's a ton of melee ignite chance. When you activate Holy Aura, all your ignite stacks on enemies in the aura's area deal more damage. 50% more. It's kind of crazy. I like this node, this Holy Precision node. Holy Precision is a node that offers a lot of power. But so in the past it was like the lightning spell critical strike chance or something like that, right? Yeah, right. While the values in the node have been adjusted, its effects have been now more universal. And the benefits offered are still nothing to sneeze at, offering added critical strike chance with threshold bonus. I like it. Good. Adequate chance right here. 30 points means it's beyond the halfway point. Got it. What's Woe? In theme with the Void Knight, the adjusted Woe node offers a threshold bonus to slow and frailty chance. Combine this with the altered Dread form passive, which reduces slowing effects on you, and you have a much greater mastery over the passage of time for you and your enemies. Reduced slow effects on you? Oh, busted. This is cool. It saves you like suffixes, right? Like you always have frailty, you always have slow chance. That's really neat. Abyssal fluctuation. You deal 0 damage when you're dead. True. It's actually funny. This thinking here guided last epoch arena gamers for a long time. Just trying to be as tanky as possible. Because you could always just wait them out. Abyssal Fluctuation offers a powerful and thematic method of damage reduction for the Void Knight. I love it. Convert up to 50% of elemental damage taken to void damage, and reducing all void damage taken, including the converted damage. This is so cool. I love this. Super cool, interesting node. This is like real defense here. I love it. Skill changes. Devouring Orb skill changes. Yeah, Orion's VK, right? Also, don't Ravenous Void have less void damage taken? Devouring Orb, baby. Inside the skill tree, you find many changes and even some entirely new nodes. 2 of the nodes being the new All-Consuming node and the reworked Abyssal Rush node. So Abyssal Rush is while you are moving, you automatically cast Devouring Orb if it's not on cooldown and you have enough mana. Amazing. Love it. When you directly cast non-orbiting Devouring Orb within the area of an existing Devouring Orb, the new orb consumes all existing orbs to deal more damage in a larger area, both multiplicative per orb consumed. However, the new orb also deals less ailment damage per orb consumed. So this node here is what I've heard people speculate might be the way to break Time Rot. It's massive DR. Is this thing massive DR? So when you convert, you skip penetration as well, which is kind of cool. I don't know how relevant that is, but it is cool. This is massive. It's like it's 10% DR? Wait. 4, 5, 20, half, 10. So it's 10% elemental damage reduction, right? It's good. Yeah, it's all good. All-consuming might be the way to do Time Rot. Is this it? No other text? Boring. They only give you 1 picture for Devouring Orb. I really wanted more than that. Alright, let's see this. Javelin technically exists. Damage effectiveness. The biggest changes for Javelin can be found in the skill tree nodes. Yeah, for void damage too. This includes Divine Fury no longer being incompatible with Siege Barrage. With both nodes allocated, each javelin that rains down will create lightning spears. In addition, many nodes have received adjustments to provide more power to javelin builds, as well as compensate for the volatile reversal changes. Javelin hits have a chance to apply frailty per point of strength, and a chance to shred fizz res per point of dexterity. Wonka? This looks like not a node I would use. Is this stream buffering? Oops. If a stream's buffering, you can like Control Shift R to like refresh the stream. Try it, see what happens. Do it. Monster Piercer. Javelin hits deal more damage. Only hit stuff though. Double against enemies on high health. That's fine. You have? Fuck. I'm sorry. Oh no. We're gonna keep reading that. Alright, what's Multi-Strike doing? We've already seen this node. To me, this is like very exciting. If this was the only change to Sentinel, I still feel like it'd be exciting. You're seeing lag everywhere on other streams as well? Good. Let's keep reading. Multi-strike has one change. It looks amazing. With Blade Storm, your additional swords are able to consume mana, and in exchange... Oh, they consume mana. That's probably fine. Make multi-strike far more formidable against individual targets if you can sustain the mana cost. Yeah. Received a buff to its hitbox, making reliably landing those primary hits feel much smoother. Ooh, I like hitbox. Okay, this is gonna be like amazing. I've been telling people, excuse me, that if you really can't wait for patch notes, which you should, just play multi-strike. I think multi-strike and Heartseeker are two of the easiest recommendations without respect to patch notes. Realistically, you should just wait for patch notes. Shield throw? This thing's still a skill. Previously required a number of passive points to get it up and running as a primary skill. This is largely because of the long cooldown, which required a non-insignificant number of skills to remove. Considering this was the style that was generally preferred for the skill, we've adjusted the base functionality to reflect this, removing the initial cooldown and reducing the cost. That's good. YouTube's not lagging. That's hilarious. Good. YouTube. It still requires the shield to return before being thrown out. It now only costs a single point in the skill to remove that restriction. Alternatively, you can add a cooldown to the skill and further specialize it to be able to ricochet to yourself and get benefits to that. These changes free up skill points and combine with other nodes, make a much smoother and more formidable skill. Good. Smelters. Wait, do we know anything about Smelter's Wrath? Receiving some fairly significant changes and an important mechanical change. While many nodes on the tree are receiving some love, the added damage effectiveness of Smelter's Wrath is being increased to 600%. Oh! Forge Guard login. Mechanically, Smelter's Wrath is being changed to now grant more damage based on charge, up to 100% more damage on maximum charge, from 50% more hit damage per second spent charging. This means that reducing your charge time will no longer reduce the benefit received from this effect. Effects in the tree that are for second channels remain unchanged. Wait. Is it? Listen, Master Sword, you're one of like 3 people who have used this skill. This is your chance to speak to the people. Is this good? In the past, I've said that Smelter's Wrath never really felt like a skill that was that far from being something that people would willingly play. The last line is cool as fuck. The last line already exists, Curse Boy. It's in the client right now. The issue was building AoE in the past reduced your damage. Yeah, that'd be a great question, Kalvar. Be ready to be statues. We were always meant to be cased in stone for eternity. I don't... So I've seen enough effort put into Smelter's Wrath builds to know that it can deal damage. It can deal damage. Like, it's kind of clunky. It needs some setup. It's a playstyle that not everybody enjoys. The damage really isn't that good. And like, it's never really been like a mainstream skill. And I feel like Forge Guard deserves something that isn't a meme. Because like you have Smelter's Wrath, Manifest Armor, Forged Weapons, Forged Strike, and Shield Throw. And every single one of those skills feels like it was made in 2010. Like, could we have one that feels good to use? Can we have one that won't get people in Twitch chat memeing me for playing a Forge Guard? Just one? I don't know. Yeah, like, Judgment's good. Come on. Alright. Can't move. Standing still combo build. Vengeance. Alright. Last skill we're touching on is Vengeance. With 28 lines of patch notes just for the Vengeance skill tree changes. Vengeance, that's a new outlook for Season 2. Holy moly, 28 lines of text just for Vengeance? This includes changes to Iron Blade, offering a chance to get 100% to a 100% chance on both Vengeance and Riposte. Okay. Forge weapon generation, full fire and void conversion options, while keep against high defensive strength. Like multi-strike, its base hitbox has been increased, God bless, to make striking and feeling the attack feel smoother, more forgiving. Good. Next, void cleaver racing strike deal more damage, multiplicative after you use it. This exists already, but I don't know if the numbers have been buffed. Wait. No, wait, this doesn't exist. No, this is in multi-strike right now. Oh, but they're putting it in Vengeance. That's cool. Huh. All right. Iron Blades travel faster, causing it to do more damage. Or travel faster, causing it to travel further. My brain auto-completed. It's my wish list. Additionally, Vengeance and Riposte hits have a chance to attack with Iron Blade per point of attunement up to a maximum. Sure. Void Cleave? Monka? Okay. Vengeance into Ravaging Aura? Yeah, yeah. I mean, that it should work, right? Another 45% more damage. You read it the same way as well? That's so funny. Okay, so... I want to know more about Devouring Orb. That's all I got. I'm like... Let me explain this in a way that people who are perpetually online might understand. Is this appropriate? Alright. Yeah. Alright. So I'm like... This is like where are we? This is like Heartseeker, right? This is the real tier list that you've been waiting for this entire time. And like is like this Forge Guard. This is the real one. It's Heartseeker, and then like what else is here? Like it's like maybe like Volatile. Like I'm not saying these things are bad. I'm just saying, go on, tell me more. Tell me, like, you know, come on, like maybe Devouring Orb. This is like a, what do you call it? Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put multi-strike here. You think multi-strike? I think multi-strike's pretty good. Well, it's not bad. This is not bad. Time Rot last. I'll put Time Rot right here. You know? What else was on this list? Oh, I can just scroll up to the top, can't I? Table of Contents, Symbols of Hope. Symbols of Hope. It's cool. It's pretty cool. But like, you think multi-strike is huge? I think it's huge too. But like, you know, wasn't this supposed to be like the Forge or the like the Sentinel patch? How come they just slipped in this bullshit? Why is this here? Couldn't we have one patch without nonsense? You know what I mean? Where's Smelter's Wrath? Here, I'll put Smelters here. Like, how come we can't just have one fucking normal patch? Yeah, where's my 180% more damage? So Volatile Reversal used to give was 60? It was 60% more damage for hit based. Wait. I don't remember what numbers it 10 to 30. Yeah. It was 60, right? It's then like if your damage over time is 180%, but then it also gave you speed. Like attack and cast speed, right? So like realistically it was more than both of these numbers. And if you were willing to take the node that sent you like further back in time, which, like, I never took because I was never used to playing it. No, whatever. And no, you don't take the mana node anymore. You disable the mana. Right now, the correct way to spec Volatile Reversal is up like this to this keystone, and then down like this to this keystone. And then this thing, a couple points in this, a couple points in that, and then either over here or over here. But you need both these sides. You definitely turn off the health, and you definitely turn off the mana. CDR, or if you're like going back in time or fighting hordes of enemies or something, you can go back to double up on it. It's just like, why is a Heartseeker here? Why is Heartseeker here? Yeah, right, Curse Boy. Like, how come they're just like, yeah, here's some fucking Heartseeker for you. All right. A couple days ago, I told you that to me, the most exciting part of Season 2 was something that hadn't been spoiled yet. Which, of course, means that I can't tell you about it. Now, I can tell you about it. Chat. Deterministic 1 LP slams. Holy fuck. What's Bleed and Electrify do? So Electrify gets new nodes that say more lightning damage over time per crit multi in the Paladin skill tree. What is this? Seal a unique item with legendary potential and exalted item with 4 affixes. Mostly the same type. Oh, this is Eternity Cache. Yeah. Select a guaranteed affix. You may choose a guaranteed affix for the resulting legendary item. Holy fuckerino. Is Gavarian in chat? Literally deterministic 1 LP slams. Holy fuck, dude. That's insane. That's completely insane. I don't know if Gavarian's here, but I do want to... What are the requirements? I don't know. I do want to mention that for the deterministic 1 LP slams, this is a huge buff to people who like meme builds. Tremendous buff to people like Gavarian, who just, they want to just fuck around. And they're like, man, I want to play this garbage build, but I really need like tier 7 melee attack speed. I can't wait. Is this really a TLDR? It's a pretty big TLDR. Yeah. Alright. Should we read first? Let's read first, okay? Yeah, lots of build variety. Alright. Is this big enough? That's big enough. What are the devs most excited about? When, baby? Today? Tomorrow? The next day? I don't know. Judd's excited for gamepad updates. Sure. Procedurally generated tombs. Carve is pumped for the Weaver tree. Love it. How hard is Uber Aberoth? Carve has... Oh, has anyone in the office downed him? Carve has killed Uber Aberoth. He doesn't know of many others that have. A few community testers have been successful as well, but it's definitely a huge challenge. Got it. Let's see. How much control of your endgame do you have? What corruption do you need to access Uber Aberoth? We know 500 right now. There are additional bosses coming back, but Carve has confirmed that there's no woven echo with Lagan. That's very funny. Legendary potential item crafting. Finding a 1 LP item kind of feels bad. Yes, because 0 LP means you can egg the item, and 2 LP means you have a chance of getting what you want. Legendary crafting options via woven echoes give the opportunity to redeem this. There's an option to re-roll the LP on an item. There's also changes coming to the Eternity Cache that have been hinted at by Judd and Mike coming to help the improved system. He demonstrated the system live. Missing a 1 or 2 LP feels bad. You can now select 1 affix as a guaranteed hit as long as the dungeon is run at tier 2 or above. 1 LP items are 100% deterministic. You can still go full RNG mode, but you'd be crazy to do that. Sure. The other mods for 2 LP plus will still be randomly selected from the exalted item. Oh, does this mean like a 3 LP you get 1 guaranteed? Does that what it mean? The other mods for 2 LP plus items will be randomly selected from the exalted item that you're using to craft the legendary. You can now roll a crit success in the Eternity Cache, which will add another modifier above its LP. For example, you put in an item with 2 LP, you choose 1 mod that you want, you roll another modifier, because 1 deterministic plus 1 random is 2 LP, and then if it crits, it'll add a third. Yeah, your 3 LP could be 4 LP. My understanding is that if you... This was from Trass. Trass noted this in like Discord or something. If you have a 1 LP... No, it was in a Reddit comment. If you have a 1 LP item, it can crit to be 4 LP. So your 1 LP can crit and hit 4 LP. It's going to be pretty rare, almost impossible, but it's possible, homie. I can live the dream. I just need to believe in myself and the power of friendship. Like 1 in a trillion? Yeah, like the other bullshit probability that already exists in Last Epoch. But it could happen. It means slam fucking everything. Yes! Judd, take the wheel. Carve blessed us with a live demonstration for idol crafting. When you complete a tomb or a cemetery, you'll find a woven enchanter bench. You place an idol on the bench, you imbue it with an affix, it can roll tier 1 through tier 7. It can be touched for a 2nd or a 3rd modifier, sure. Set crafting, is there anything specific that you can share? Oh, okay. I guess we need timestamps for this, don't we? We're gonna have to watch this. If Carve is just taking the wheel and doing everything. Judd is playing Heartseeker. Carve is undecided for what he's going to league start. Sure. Let's keep reading. We're going to watch the video just for Carve. Absolutely. How much quality of life? Well, given how much quality of life in the last debug, is there a chance we can get a compendium of unique items or some kind of in-game wiki? They aspire to keep players in the game via the game guide or such things. Bizarre for the Virgin Go, via some external source. Mentioned a potential bestiary of sources for, or of sorts that would showcase possibilities, loot tables. Maybe. How are uniques developed? 5 minutes before the patch launches. Is the answer that we received in the past. There aren't any more new sets coming in season 2. That's too bad. Keep an eye on the future, sure. This is a huge answer. What other cool itemization changes might we be seeing with Woven Echoes? There's a lot of changes that do a lot of. There's a lot of changes that do a lot of things to allow you to shape your monolith how you'd like. What does that mean? Carve once again hooked us up with a live demonstration, and I took screenshots. You can re-roll LP on an item. Woven potential bench basically or essentially treats it as finding the item again. Oh, what's this with experimental items? They're removing the rune of research and the glyph of insight. Since these systems were clunky and unknown by anyone except for the people who are in my Twitch chat here. Fuck. All that time, huh? Really? All that time? They've now added the ability to expand on the system via the Woven Echoes. You can now input the experimental item of your choice into a thaumaturgical device in order to select the ethics you want in the item, making it more deterministic. They remove one of the existing items. Oh, actually, there's a screenshot of this. Gavin, if you're out there, God bless you, dude. Okay, so this is a good screenshot right here. There's a belt, thaumaturgy device. So it just gives you options. You click on it. There you go. You can save one red ring to spam LP rerolls on, egg the rest. Yeah, sounds amazing, right? She's like, click on whatever you want. Replaces a prefix. Yeah, amazing. Is a better system? Well, the first system was like the worst possible system they could possibly cook up. So yeah, this one's better. They ended up showing one final system. This one is for attributes on items. Class-specific item bases cannot naturally roll off class attributes on them. For example, if you're trying to play that Spark Charge Blade Dancer build that we played months ago, don't, because it's miserable. Some wacky builds that Perry plays might want to utilize a different attribute than their class items can roll to accommodate their oddball build. The Relic of the Observer now allows you to swap the attribute rolls on your items with the attribute of your choosing, regardless of the item, at the cost of one singular forging potential. They also clarified that if your item has 2 attributes on it, you can choose the attribute affix you want to swap out the 2. Vitality is not an option for this system, as it can roll on any item, and there are very limited builds that utilize the scaling of Vitality. Or Void Knight. They discussed resistance swapping. Ooh, they discussed resistance swapping, but with all the tools available for crafting now with Woven Echoes and improvements to other systems, it was out of scope for this patch, and they may decide against it entirely. Oh, interesting. What do you think about resistance swapping, chat? Will GG items be obtained during the leveling process? That's not the question that I want. They want players to be upgrading quite frequently during the leveling experience. Yeah, I don't. I upgrade at like level 10 and then like at level 75. It's because poor base types. What's your unique design philosophy? Yeah, right. This is weird wording for it. They literally said res swapping was a no in the live show. Gotcha. Okay. They're not considering it at all. Gotcha. Gavrin! Not needed because res is also in the idols for the most part, and res isn't as mandatory unless you block. Okay, I like that. And I agree with it. What's your unique design philosophy? I want to read this. I'm kind of interested. They're keen on implementing uniques that solve a problem or allow for a unique playstyle. They try to keep away from too many curse effects on their unique items. Some do, but in general, they like to make uniques that you don't feel bad about equipping. Or that completely brick your build. They may be looking to other kinds of items outside the uniques and set items in the future. Primordial items, but that's quite a ways away. Yeah, we don't know what primordial items do yet. Carve shared a screen once again with some unique items. The mana guide. We know what the mana guide thing is. We've pre-complained about mana guide. It allows you to move during focus, which is important because you can't move during rebuke. So it only makes sense that mages do it better. True. It's a lot of red rings, isn't it? Let's go back. Real life merch store. I got my last Epoch merch upstairs. I think I still have this merch too, right? I've got my last Epoch thing. Definitely not just sitting on my desk gathering, what do you call it? Gathering dust. It counts. Wee, look at that. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I use it all the time. I put my chapstick on. Boom, boom, boom. Merch is wanted by the fans and the team. So, yeah, go. Good. Bro. Why am I showing my wood on the stream? Sorry, dude. He showcased the Weaver tree. The tree has all kinds of goodies along with further player agency. They specified that the imprints allow you to still wear the item. It'd be hard to sacrifice your red ring. You want to wear it. You can obtain up to 50 points. Good, got it. The exciting part of the tree is the amount of customization it allows for the rewards, item drops, stuff back because you want to run. Sure. Do you have any message or advice for people logging in on 17th? Play without a build guide and learn the game from scratch. Yes. God, this is the very first line of text here. I love it so much. Judd agreed. Hop in and have fun. Yes. Chat, I make build guides. I literally gain money when you use my build guides. And yet I recommend for new players, don't use a build guide. Perfect answer. Love it. Oh, look at this. We got screenshots, baby. A rogue idol with frostbite duration, frostbite on cold hit, poison duration, chance to throw acid flask on bow hit. Wild. Okay. That's kind of cool. Chance to throw acid flask on bow hit. Fire penetration, minion fire penetration, fire damage, minion fire damage. Yeah, totally agree with you. Health regen plus health, crit avoidance, increased critical strike chance. It sounds like your endgame character is only going to have new idols, not old idols, right? A stout idol with health gain on kill, percent health, damage over time, frailty on hit. Yeah, dude. Vitality, fizz res on a humble with minion physical res, sure. Woven Echoes, Confluence of Oblivion. Defeat a Shade of Orbis of each type to reset this timeline's web of echoes and gain corruption based on the highest corruption reached in any timeline. Chet, what does this mean? Defeat a shade of Orbis of each type to reset this timeline's web, and it's an echo? Like of each element? But it says boss woven echo. What's that mean? You think you get to fight a bunch of shades? What's the chance that you get to fight a bunch of shades at the same time? Oh, it's a requirement to access it. Defeat a shade Orbis of each type to reset this timeline's web. Okay. Oh. You think you have to fight a bunch of shades, not that it's a requirement to access it. So you go in, you get like 7 shades at the same time. Instantly boost a time's corruption to the highest farm by farming shade movements. Or movesets. Defeat a shade. No, this is cross stash, right? Or is there like this is the same stash? So like if you have 2 characters with the same stash, like your second character gets to build corruption much faster, right? That's what this means. It's like building corruption faster. Yeah, it looks like catch up, right? Do I really get to fight like 4 shades of Orbis at the same time? Is that what that means? Because if that is what it means... Oh, you think it's 1 at a time? Oh, that's much less fun, right? Different echoes? I mean, it says echo here. We'll see. Because one of those kind of sounds boring. And the other one sounds fucking cool. We'll see if EHG made the right choice. What is this thing? The Forge of Shattering? Sure. So here's your Velatria's Downfall Reforged. Set Root Staff on the worst base type possible, with health gain on kill. That's pretty cool, isn't it? That's so exciting. If I have multiple shades of Orbis, staggered to 50. Why should be like the current reset boss? Oh, there is a it is kind of similar to the current reset boss, or it could be. Yeah, that'd be sick. Okay. So there's potential for it. Oh, we get to see a tier 7 affix. 28 melee cold damage. What was the tier 1? The tier 1 was 3 melee cold damage. Okay. What is this bullshit triple tier 7 item? How did this happen? I don't know about this, chat. I'm... Isn't that awful? No, but it's a hybrid affix. What's this thing? Endurance threshold per strength plus 30 strength. Physical damage leashes health on hits. Sure.
The last bear is Scorn Reforged. Oh, it's a prefix. This is a prefix too. Are they all prefixes? I'll have to keep that in mind. Do, 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 do. Health regen per point of strength. The last bear's fury reforged. It's like kind of a lot, right? Like we've talked about champion regalias being a very good base type for Sentinels because there's not a good reason to be using like an LP and a unique item instead. So what I'd be looking for is like, what's my go-to set item that I can use with my body armor? And like the last bear giving like 30 strength and like relevant text seems good, doesn't it? Offer your legendary potential to the Weaver to reforge or consume according to her design. That's a lot of red rings right there. Isn't set bonus different? I only know the strength one. I don't know about the middle one. Offer a unique legendary Weaver's Will or set item as a sacrifice to the Weaver so that she may reroll another magic item according to her design. The Weaver will only accept sacrifice if... Wait, what does this mean? All 1LPs? Gotcha. Offer unique legendary Weaver's Will or set item to sacrifice. So you're sacrificing a unique item so you can reroll another unique item according to her design. It's 2-1 for better rolls. Is it always better or like chance to be worse? You can sacrifice the Bricked Weaver's Will item. That's a good shout out. What is this? So this one's... They're going to sacrifice the T7 Intelligence one. Just a reroll, gotcha. Potential tiers equivalent to Weaver's Will. Weaver's Will equals Weaver's Will plus some of legendary affixes. Huh? Plays an item to reroll. Plays an item to reroll that matches the type, matches the name of the sacrifice. All affixes will have their roll ranges randomized. Legendary affixes will maintain their existing tier. Okay. Are we divining our items? Is that what this is? I think we're divining, right? Yes? Okay. Pretty much. It's like it's a lot of reading and a lot of brain power. And I think we're just divining items. Okay, gotcha. I think so. We saw this thing already. Bees summoned on potion use. Finally. Good. Whoa. Replaces an attribute affix on an item with at least one portrait potential with a different one. So you put intelligence in your gear. Cool, cool, cool. Oh, the zombies were changed to bees? Good. That's a great change. They want suggestions for new set bonuses. Oh. Ooh, they want suggestions? Which set? What are you thinking? Suggestions? Ooh. I've been training for this my entire life, to be an armchair dev. Fuck those zombie builds, I'm glad they're gone. Mana guide. A cocooned... We know something about cocooned items, don't we? Look at this. Pearls of the Swine, dude. Perrin the Swineherd. Yeah. Look at that. You've been around the stream long enough to hear me talk about this, right? It's so good. Perrin the Swineherd, Pearls of the Swine. Best in slot item, it's so good. I love that I even got my wife's name on the item. It's just like... It's so good. We need Perrin every item. We do! That's what I'm saying. Oh, do we know what cocooned items do yet? What's this thing? Place an armor or jewelry item to imprint it on the slot and have a chance to drop a pile of similar items as an extra reward when you receive echo. Sure. Cocoon equals higher chance to get LP. So like this is a cocooned ring. So it's just like it's a unique item that has a high chance of having LP. Is that it? We have double lizard tail chance as well. Higher than normal. Okay, gotcha. Double lizard tail chance. We don't know what lizard's tails do. I only know like 2 people who ever found a lizard tail. People were speculating that like if you get all 4 lizard tails, maybe you like summon Exodia or something. We still don't know about like lizard tail Easter eggs. What is this thing? Echoing Riches. Place an armor jewelry item to imprint it. Oh, this is like the alt text. Okay, so similar items are more likely to have the same rarity, same subtype, and same affixes as the imprinted item. When imprinting a unique item, the similar items have an increased chance to be the exact same unique. Items dropped this way are affected by normal drop requirements. So, when imprinting a unique item, the similar items have an increased chance of being the exact same unique. Place a jewelry to imprint on the slot, have a chance of dropping a pile of similar items. So if I put a red ring in there, I have a chance of completing an echo and getting a pile of red rings. Place an item imprinted on the slot to make champions sometimes drop a pile of the same item type. Wait. Place an item to imprint it on the slot to make champions sometimes drop a pile of items the same item type that always have a sealed affix matching one of the affixes on the imprinted item. The tier of the sealed affix can roll up to the tier of the corresponding affix on the item. The chance of a pile of these items dropping is multiplied by the number of axes on the item. Huh. What's the stream title? Oh, it's exactly what it means. It's not bait at all. Didn't read the summary? Not yet. You mean the summary here? Number of items in the pool is equal to the number of affixes on the item. Champions are more formidable rare enemies. Drop items. Drop more items and items with affixes tied to the modifiers. You want details? Guarantee, or what is it? That's it. It's just guaranteed tier 1. Oh, I guess I can show you this thing. Here's your text for you. 1 LP items are deterministic. The other mods for 2 LP plus items will still be randomly selected. So if you have a 2 LP item, you'll select one of the affixes to be deterministic. The other will be random. This is 2 LP. You can now crit success with the Eternity Cache, and you can add another modifier above its LP. So technically, if you put in a 1 LP item, you could be the luckiest person in the history of time and get a 4 LP out of it. Yeah. So like your 1 LP might crit and hit 2 LP, but your 1 LP could technically get 4 LP. Technically. Technically. Place a woven echo to imprint it on the slot to have a chance to spawn it on your echo web when a new echo is generated. Interesting. Echoes that you discover on your web that would have had glyph rewards have a different random reward instead. Oh, so you can get rid of glyph rewards. Interesting. Arena echoes no longer appear. Isn't it just +1? No, it is not just +1. Technically, it can be all the way up to 4. Technically. The same way that you can technically get a 4 LP Red Ring of Ilaria. Your echoes have a higher chance to spawn with a new reward type which grants dungeon keys and dungeon key charms. Sure. Tombs and cemeteries of the erased in your echoes have a chance to include a possessed nemesis. I don't know what a possessed nemesis is. Got it. 0%. Yeah, exactly. Nemesis encounters are more common. Yeah, I'm taking this thing. 100% I'm taking this thing. This thing's great. When a nemesis escapes through a portal after being empowered, it drops exalted weapons that can be upgraded if you kill a harbinger. Oh, shit. Oh, that's really good. Okay, so if you want one of those special nemesis weapons, most notably the scepter that has flat, like up to 9 flat critical strike chance on it. Yeah, those bases were a real bitch to get in the past. Yeah, this is awesome. Okay. A random shade of Orbis can sometimes ambush you in your echoes. This is another faction. These are in addition to COF. The only mutually exclusive factions are COF and Merchants Guild. Think of the rip clips. This sounds amazing, chat. I've wanted this for so long. A random shade of Robus just fucking shows up. It's so good. And then killing Shade of Orbis no longer grants corruption. Cool. So it resets it, but it no longer grants corruption. So maybe it's like a 1-pointer if you're at 1,000 corruption, like you never want to go any higher. Log in, dude. Just like holy shit. Ah, it's so good. I love it. Yeah, right. Do we have? Let's see. Do I have this pulled up somewhere? Let's see.
Judd good? Did I do an okay job? Can hear Judd. Judd is good. All right, you're good. All right, Ross, let's do you one more time.
Hello, testing. 1, 2, 3.
The leaker for last. Let's go.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Hello. Test. Torille, is this working?
Of the Erased to talk all about this latest update coming to the game. It has been 9 months. They have been cooking, and I thought it would be an awesome way to introduce all of you. And
This podcast has already happened. I'm just like
just break
playing a
the
little
ice. If all of you could talk about your single favorite feature that is coming in Tombs of the Erased.
I'm
What are you
gonna
most
click
excited
through
for?
this a
Can we
little bit.
Start with John,
If you
let's
want to
start with
pause or talk about
For
something,
sure,
just let me know.
for sure. Yeah, we have a lot of heavy hitters coming in season 2 in this regard. I'll speak to one that I'm personally really excited about that might not get a lot of.
Does
coverage
anyone know
elsewhere in the conversation.
Ross's like
So
username?
for gamepad, we've actually
I don't know
every
Ross's
single
name
skills
as well
targeting
as I know
logic
other people.
across the game, and they're just way more intuitive to how you'd want.
Yeah,
them to
Judd's
play.
living his best life, dude.
For example, if you were playing Ballista in the past, it would
He
be
does
that
live
you
in
would,
Texas,
if you're
but, like,
focusing
other
on
than that,
enemy,
he's living
you
his
would
best
actually
life.
summon the Ballista on top of the targeted enemy, which would aggro the enemy and probably surrounding enemies, and they'd swarm your Ballista and pretty quickly dispatch it and kill it. And that's not exactly how you'd want Ballista to be played. With the update, we've made it to where even if you're focused on a target enemy, it'll act more appropriately, where it'll cast it to the side or outside of the group of monsters, which is a way better situation for Ballista. We've also updated all the mutations of skills, so anything inside the skill trees that actually might change the targeting logic or more desirably.
The thing that he's most excited about for last epoch is the targeting for minions. Yeah, I mean,
logic change. For example, things like Atera's Blessing. There's a node called Purge, which cleanses ailments off of allies. And with the update, if you do have an ally that has an ailment on it, Purge and Atera's Blessing will prioritize healing that character instead. Those are just a couple examples.
Gotcha.
Every single skill in the game has gone through this treatment and been touched. And there's also, we've updated it to have some target memory as well. So, for example, if you're a ranged character, imagine that you're a mage and you're casting Fireball. Previously, it would be that if you're casting Fireball at an enemy a couple times, they start to chase you, you start to kite it, you start to run in the other direction. What you would previously have to do is flick your joystick to the left, run away, then you have to flick it back to the right and start to sling the spell again and flick it back to the left. In the update, we will memorize the target in which you were casting the spell at previously, and as long as there's not a new target recognized in the direction that you're facing with the gamepad, you can it'll just quickly turn.
Is Volatile Reversal losing all its crazy DPS numbers buff? As far as I understand, yes.
At that previous enemy, which makes it just way more fluid. And so a lot of really great gamepad updates coming in season 2. There's even more changes to support this, like the inventory management updates that we have coming. And there's a lot more updates that we have coming for gamepad in future seasons as well that are already well underway. And remember, if you guys like playing on gamepad, it is something that you're able.
It's my first time seeing Talkative try, and this is a compliment. Does anybody else see this? Or do I just watch too many Disney movies these days? It might just be me. Is it me? No. It's a compliment. He's a handsome guy. Wait, I just like look. Hold on, wait.
I'll do the silly intro, and we can talk all about this latest update coming.
And there was way more intuitive to.
While Judd's talking, he's kind of smoldering, isn't he?
We have a lot of heavy hitters coming in season 2 in this regard. I'll speak to one that I'm personally really excited about that might not get a lot of coverage elsewhere in the conversation. So for gamepad, we've actually updated every single skill's targeting logic across the game, and there was way more intuitive to how you'd want them to play. So, for example, if you were playing Ballista,
he bit his lip.
That you would, if you're focusing on an enemy, you would actually summon the Ballista on top of the targeted enemy, which would aggro the enemy.
Oh shit, dude!
Swarm your Ballista and pretty quickly dispatch.
Does he have an OnlyFans?
And that's not exactly how you'd want Ballista to be played. With the update, we've made it to where even if you're focused on a target enemy, it'll act more appropriately, where it'll cast it to the side or outside of the group of monsters, which is a way better situation for Ballista. We've also updated all the mutations of skills, so anything inside the skill trees that actually might change the targeting logic or more desirably have the target logic change. For example, things like.
Well, I don't know what Judd's been talking about. I have no idea. Haven't been listening at all.
Blessing, there is a way more fluid. And so a lot of really great gamepad updates coming in season 2. There's even more changes to support this, like the inventory management updates that we have coming. And there's a lot more
Why is he licking
updates
his
that we
lips?
have coming for gamepad in future seasons as well that are already well underway. And remember, if you guys like playing on gamepad, it is something that you're able to hot swap to from keyboard and mouse, which is just a real cool feature to have.
That's really exciting. I know a lot of people love the options, and there's a lot of, I think like older gamers too that really like the ease that gamepad provides. So that's awesome that you
Yes.
guys focused on that, man.
Hey, do we have any older gamers in chat who like using gamepads? Just real quick.
It's very cool.
Show of hands.
All right, yep, hands raised right now. Yeah. So,
Oh no,
Ross?
that was me indicating the RSI that you get from
Definitely.
playing these
Oh
games.
yeah. I think half our team has terrible carpal tunnel from picking up a whole lot of loot over the years. So yeah, I mostly play with gamepad just due to that.
100%. All right,
Yeah.
Ross, what are you looking forward to, man?
Yeah, personally, I'm most excited for the procedurally generated tomb and cemetery side zones that we've added. In Season 2, there are a few features that would be developed specifically for long-term use, and this is one of those. What we've built allows the studio to both release new content faster and improve existing content. For example, let's just say in future seasons we add new areas that are tied to seasonal mechanics, or we want to improve existing areas like dungeons or base monolith echoes. The new system we've worked on enables us to do that a lot faster than previously. Specifically in relation to Season 2, though, we haven't had side zones in Endgame before, and tombs are really the starting point for all of the new endgame content that we've added. These new zones feel good in terms of not being too large, not being too small. There's no loading screens when going back and forth. We've got new enemies, bosses, and rewards with them as well. With the extra time we've had, we've actually made some solid last-minute improvements here too, like rotating the layouts to navigate areas better with WASD movement, which we're also adding this season. So basically, you're always traveling in a direction that's comfortable for WASD in terms of the exits and entrances from areas. That sounds like a small thing, but it's great if you're using that control scheme. Note that future zones there will be built with this in mind. We're likely to revisit older content too in this regard as well. But yeah, for me, looking forward to playing all the content this season, but the procedural generation system has me the most excited for, the future development of the game.
The WASD change sounds big. I know what you mean. It sounds small, but it makes a massive difference, especially if you're grinding through these many times over and you want to try out the beta. And you got an extra few weeks to work on it, so WASD should feel a little bit better than it was going to on that April 2nd initial launch.
Absolutely.
Ooh, I'm excited for that. Awesome. Okay, Carve, let's close this out. What are you most excited for?
There's a lot of things, but
That sounds like you
my
can,
probably on
Elvin.
the Weaver tree because it allows me to do a lot of cool stuff in the monolith, like not have arenas anymore, and a lot of farming points. So
Wait a second.
I can do cool stuff.
What?
I do like arenas. I don't like them in the monolith.
Okay.
When I do
And
arena,
also-
I'll go.
Very cool. I
for
saw
ladder.
that Mike leaked the entire tree on stream last week. That
Yeah, we
was
might
bold.
maybe look at some nodes today, potentially at some point.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Exciting. Well, you guys, before we dive into the main topic of today's chat, which is all about itemization, and you have a bunch of exciting things to share, I had one question that I just wanted to ask all of you. Because personally, I've played about 150 hours of Last Epoch. I'm not a blaster by any means, but I usually bounced in the end game. And I think that a lot of other players shared that sentiment. But in these past 9 months, it sounds like you have done tremendous work on that end game loop and just providing new options, not only in terms of content, but itemization as well. Did one of you want to tackle that? What is this new end game supposed to feel like, supposed to do and accomplish?
Yeah, and so in terms of the goals, in short, we wanted to improve endgame, respond to player feedback, and set us up for future content. And you can split all these between short-term goals and long-term goals. So I'll start with the short-term goals. So looking back, Season 1 added a pinnacle boss, which the game lacked. It didn't feel right that there wasn't a satisfying endpoint for endgame in this regard, both in terms of difficulty and narratively. So this was great content, but it didn't add much to the endgame holistically. So the primary short-term goal with Season 2 was providing more content broadly at endgame, giving players more to do and allowing them to sink more time into min-maxing their characters. We knew we wanted to provide some element of player agency in terms of influencing the monolith. That's the Weaver tree that Car was mentioning. We knew we needed new bosses, new enemies, and we wanted to tie in more endgame itemization and crafting into the monolith. We've only really had that with the Eternity Cache, which is more in dungeons, so not specifically tied to the monolith. We were also keen to add our first side zones to Echoes as well, as that experience just didn't exist before.
I don't want to watch the entire thing. So I need to skip ahead somewhere. So I'm going to. Ross, I'm so sorry. I've chosen you, buddy. I want to see what this screen share is all about. I think Carve takes over here.
You just miss. You don't get the T7 at all. And now your 2LP that you felt like was an upgrade is basically going to the trash bin. Well, there's a use case for that in Season 2, but that item doesn't really go to trash bin anymore because we are now allowing you to select one affix as a guarantee, as long as the dungeon that you
Imagine
do is
seeing
at
this
least-
live. Holy fuck. I can't imagine. I guess is there like a chat thing? There must have been a chat thing here, right? Chat is disabled. Well, fuck, never mind. Like, chat went nuts. I'll reiterate this. I told you like a week ago or something that the thing that I was most excited for in season 2 like hasn't been spoiled yet, so I can't tell you what it is. I've seen gameplay. No, I don't think you've seen gameplay of it. Deterministic 1LP slams. It's fucking crazy, dude. That is like a breath of fresh air. It's so good.
tier 2. So I got lucky and I have a 2LP red ring here, so I can just guarantee the int there. And then I get something extra cool.
Oh.
And this does mean that it's also easier to get one affix on your legendaries as well. For example,
Completely
you
insane.
don't really need to farm on average 4 red rings anymore to get that. You just slam it there now on the first attempt. Unless, of course, we allow you to go full RNG mode, and that just still picks it at random because streamers need to show that they're good at the game. and they're
Don't say
lucky.
those words out loud.
But yeah, for
Don't
us
wish
peasants,
that on me.
we can just force the one affix we want. The other affixes for like 2LP, 3LP are still gonna be random.
That's a great shout out, Paulina.
That's
It's
awesome.
gonna help. a lot.
That's a really good shout out.
People are freaking out. They're very, very excited for this change.
That's awesome.
You may have
Agree.
maybe deliberately missed out one potential thing that could happen here as well, Carv. I maybe left
Oh
that door
yeah,
open.
yeah. So you know how you when you're crafting your normal items in the forge, and sometimes you get this nice sound, and instead of getting +1 tier, you get +2 tiers with the critical success. Now there is a very, very low chance when you're making legendaries to get critical success with Eternity Cache 2, which then just takes another affix from the item. So this could have been 3LP, but as with just getting legendary potential on uniques, the more powerful the item is, the less likely you are to crit success, and it's very rare to begin with. But so don't expect it to be happening on your renderings anytime soon. But there's a chance, though. There's a chance.
Do we have some numbers on that chance? Like, are we talking 1%, 0.5%?
Low enough that you don't really think about it, and then if it happens, and you're happy.
Oh, sweet.
Lame. Not even
Well, that's
1%.
pretty awesome. Should I take the magic away, Carve?
For now.
Yeah,
For now?
we'll have to prepare another thing soon.
All right, we're gonna take the magic away, everybody. Okay, I'm sorry. We'll see more magic in just a second. I promise. I promise, everybody. All right, there we go. Okay, magic is gone for now.
You think the crit LP chance is just so Trass was on Reddit saying that it can be more than that. So you can put in a 1LP and get a 4LP out of it. Heat Death of the Universe, not realistically going to happen, blah blah blah, but we've been told that it can go more.
Yeah. Wow. Sweet. Thanks for sharing that, Carve. Okay.
Yeah, we've been excited to share that one.
I was seeing more huge W's in the chat than I've ever seen before on a live stream. Pretty awesome. Okay. So after that, wow, that was a big one. Okay. I think this was the most requested question in like Discord, on the subreddit, when I was doing some prep sessions on YouTube and Twitch. People are also curious about idol crafting. Okay. They're like super interested in additional details on how that's going to work, what these idols are going to look like. And I know you did elaborate a little bit on idols in yesterday's post, but if there's anything else you'd like to share here today with everybody watching, feel free, go for it. What's going on with idols in season 2?
Yeah, I can just show it in action quickly.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
Because
he's leaking again.
it's good.
Okay.
He's fast.
Oh, he's going again. Okay,
Yeah,
you
I was
guys.
fast. I was
Here we go.
fast.
Here we go. He's really fast. We're back in game. Go for it, man.
Yeah, so when you complete tombs or cemeteries, or some of the woven echo versions of these, you'll see
Yeah, we
this
know the
little,
prices
thingy
already.
here. On the
10,
left
30,
side.
40, 60.
And this is where you get to place your class specific idols. So here I have a couple that don't have any enchants yet, and then here I have a couple that do have.
Okay.
So you simply put it here. I'm in a cemetery, so I have 2 uses. If this was on a 2, it would be only be 1. And I'll just
They're
enchant
really
it.
pretty.
It'll give it a new usually a low tier. So this gave me a tier 2 enchant. These can go all the way to tier 7, and then it gives you some Weaver's Touch as well, which you see on the top on the item.
I actually don't know if it includes
So
all the
that's
other
for
ones.
Weaver's Touch.
I assume it does,
And,
but
just
I
like
don't actually
Weaver's
know that. It
Blue
does?
items,
Okay.
you can just go slice enemies and it'll upgrade, or you can use that's the wrong rune, another rune. You can use Rune of Weaving that will then
It does. Okay, got it.
convert some of that. In our case, it put all of it and it just upgraded. So now I have a tier 6 of that. That's really interesting because generally you would actually get the second affix there as well. So that's an interesting coincidence. Let's see if we can get it on the other one. There we go. So here we have 2 new affixes, and they are tier 5 and tier 1. So we are missing, what, tier 8 total tiers? If you're very lucky, just like with Weaver's items, like Weaver's Will items, you can get up to double T7 here, which in Weaver's Will items would be like quadruple T7, but that's obviously very rare. So
yeah,
I'd expect people to get like tier 7 and then like tier 2, 3, maybe 4 on top or something like that. And of course, I didn't get what I wanted. Both of those affixes are kind of useless for me. So what I can do is for 500 memory amber, which is the currency that you can farm now for the faction, you can re-enchant this. So what it does, it just removes the existing affix or your touch, and then it adds a new one. Could be lucky or unlucky, getting the same one, but and then you can just keep doing this. So when you get your perfect normal affixes, then you'll just
I'm gonna
keep.
pause for a moment just to address a question in chat. You said this is insane power creep. Yes. You said I don't like that. The game's already easiest in the genre out there outside of Diablo 4. They can make the game harder. The difficulty of the game should not, in my opinion, stop them from making cool new systems. Yeah. This feels like an awesome system. Is it seasonal content? Very unlikely that this is just seasonal content. Likely that this is going to be core to the game as well. Last Epoch's not currently in a state where they can afford to make this much cool content and not put it into the game. It means you push power. It means that they have room to adjust difficulty and introduce new monsters and bosses and stuff like that. Like, yeah.
Re-enchanting until you hit very high Weaver's Touch and the correct affixes.
I think this is a very cool, interesting system.
So this
The
is gonna be a
difficulty
big
of the
thing for
game
memory
should
amber.
not stop them from making things like this.
And memory
in my
amber,
opinion.
I was just going to ask
Yeah.
really quick. That's only found in tombs and cemeteries, or can you find that in other instances throughout the game?
You can find it elsewhere too, but I would suspect most of your memory amber comes from doing tombs and cemeteries. And yeah, I believe these were also already teased as well. You see these little other idols here.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, since we're putting more power into class-specific idols, the normal, like the 1x1 and
like
2x1
an
and 1x2 idols would get left behind. So in these tombs and cemeteries, you can find new subtypes of these smaller idols. You can find minor, small. I think minor was small Lagonian previously, so we renamed that. And you see there's a different color affix on the top. So these idols have an exclusive better affixes compared to the non-Beaver version of these idols. And you will always be guaranteed to get at least one of these better affixes on these, and sometimes you get 2. And most of these are hybrid affixes, better versions of the existing ones, but there's also some new affixes here that I don't think. Yeah, Firepen and Minion Firepen is a new one. And then the increased health here with the health on kill is basically the upgraded version of the increased health on the stout idols that currently exists. I think it goes to 6. Yeah, 6%. So there's some pretty good Weaver idols too that you can find.
Yeah, it looks like it. Now, people are pointing out the uses on the Woven Enchanter. Is that tied to anything, or is that a base amount for every time you clear one of these cemeteries?
In tombs, you get 1. In cemeteries, where I am currently, you get 2. And then some of the higher end Woven Echoes can grant up to 4. I think there's 3 and 4 for one of the higher ones.
Whoa, look at those Woven Echoes right there. That was
Yo,
interesting.
look at those.
They're pretty cool.
Wow, I
People
wonder.
also get nice icons on them.
I really
Telling
like the
like,
icons. I mean, your cursor could slip like a few inches, maybe.
Do it, Garv.
This one isn't specific to itemization, unless we are thinking.
Oh wait, this is the one we wanted.
That's one.
Talk about it.
Ooh.
Talk about it. Talk about it. Talk about it. Talk about it. Talk about it.
There's some cool things in there.
That was a good slip.
Come on, dude.
That was a good slip. I didn't even remember which is where, so that was actually just a random one.
And
Oh.
yes, the plus icon on those woven echoes tells you that you can get a Weaver tree point by completing that woven echo.
Okay.
The hammer implies that it has a crafting reward at the end, and the skull is a boss encounter at the end, and then the rest of them are more varied.
Yeah,
Oh.
we are actually in a cemetery of reweaving right now.
I may have gone 6 months without realizing that. Can I rewind a little bit? I just want to hear what Ross says. Hold on.
Woven echoes tells you that you can get a Weaver tree point by completing that woven echo.
Okay.
The hammer implies that it has a crafting reward at the end, and the skull is a boss encounter at the end, and then the rest of them are more varied.
Got it.
Oh.
We are
Okay.
actually in a cemetery of reweaving right now, I believe, where one of these rewards is, not all of these woven echoes are going to be awesome for you. You might not like them, some of them. So what you can do is, you can just post them here and exchange them and hope that you get better
Whoa.
ones.
Just
You
3 to
can
1.
exchange them all at once, and they'll come out with 3. Oh my goodness gracious! You don't have to do 3 at a time.
Yeah, and it didn't waste
Quality
them.
of life
Yeah,
in
you
my
can just
video
fill this
game?
up and it's just like puts them all there.
Well, that's pretty nice, if I do say so myself.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's pretty satisfying, and we're leaking some more here.
How
Teasing-
convenient.
Teasing more. Yeah, I love how it's just there's like a little rhythm there too. Yeah.
Oh, there's a little sound effect that we can't. Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm currently muted here.
Wow.
that's good.
That's so good.
Very cool.
Where's the friction?
Well, that was beautiful. Thank you for showing off
Wow.
the titles carve. People appreciate it. Oh wait, should I?
What the fuck?
Anyway,
was that?
No, I'll just it's just the exit back to the
Oh,
echo that
okay.
came.
All right. Here, I'll stop watching, and the magic will stop for just a little bit longer, you guys. Maybe some more magic
Yeah,
will come
I'm-
on in.
I believe I need to prepare more magic now. Yeah,
Oh,
yes.
more magic. Okay. Awesome. Sweet. That was beautiful. Okay. It is. I'm sorry.
Where's the
It's just making me
meaningful
giddy
combat?
How happy everyone is in the chat. You guys have done a phenomenal job. They're freaking out. Okay. So, moving on from idols. Now, in the Ziz and Rax interview, Holly did a great breakdown of set crafting.
Should I
And
watch the
lots of
PoE2
people are happy
interview?
This made the cut for season 2 because it was.
Should I
teetered on
watch
the
like
edge
10
there
minutes
for a
of it?
bit, and bam, revealed set crafting's in season 2. So on that, is there, since this is the itemization talk, is there anything extra we can
It's
dive
brutal,
into when it comes
really?
to set crafting and what players should expect on launch day on the 17th?
If you want depression,
Yeah,
go for it.
as I'm preparing here.
The
to get
beginning
my,
was heated,
Showcase.
so I should watch
sharing
it.
them. Guess I can talk a bit. So, set items are
Really?
they're kind of problematic in a way where if you can't modify them in any way, it's like a dead end item, right? You either use it or you don't. Obviously, there's different ways to make them be useful or modify them.
I'm gonna
we didn't
fast
wanna
forward
just do, like Red Ring, for example. But
Yeah,
if you
Red-
find this, with one
What
of
is
these-
this? Whoa. Where is he standing? Are these custom hideouts? They're not. But they could be. What the fuck is this area in the background here? Ziz is going off the deep end, so I should watch it. Okay. Chat, what the fuck is going on in the background here? This looks amazing.
It's basically a dead item. This doesn't really have a use. Zero LP would be better because you could just toss it into the Nemesis deck and hope to get something good, or it would have to be at least like 3. So, one of the things coming
Is it a boss fight?
this season is the
What is this?
ability to reroll the LP on uniques that have at least 1 legendary potential. And if it doesn't go up, it's going to go back to 0. And again, so what happens here is it basically considers it as finding the item again, and then it checks for legendary potential. If the legendary potential is not higher than the item when it's here in the woven potential bench, it is gonna go to 0, and then you get another chance to upgrade through the Nemesis deck. But sometimes you get an upgrade, and that's pretty cool. Don't expect your red rings to get extra LP again, because they are already very unlikely to get it with LP to begin with. But there's a point where, let's say that you're playing a build that has 2 red rings and you have your tier 7 already on both of them. So the next upgrade would be to get a 2 LP version, right? So now there is a chance to get that. So when you find that 1 LP red ring, it doesn't just it's not a dead item now. You have a chance to get it, like make an upgrade. Well, 2 chances. First here, and then when it most likely fails, on the egg from the Nemesis. So I'm gonna expect some of these are gonna go to like.
Is he gonna get a
2
2?
And all of these are gonna go to 0. But yeah, here we go. And as you can see on the side here, we have some crafting, like affix shards. and that is because Weaver is she doesn't want to take all of your things. So when she takes away your legendary potential from items, she'll give you back some affix shards. So all of these obviously went to 0 LP, as one would expect. Most of these are probably going to be 0 as well. Let's see if we get, yeah, there we go, 2 LP. But most of these are 0, which then allows you to then send them back to the Nemesis egg, and you might get 1 LP back, or you might get legendary affixes and whatnot. So now we have a method for these items that don't really do anything to have more chances to be useful.
Right.
And then another cool thing, which was teased, I think, in the original trailer, that people thought was going to be this, which was the unique reroll. So I can probably go set that up, actually, real quick. I'll just stop my screen. The Frost or Judd can probably talk a tiny bit while I'm going to do that.
Yeah, I need Nemesis to show up
good
twice every echo, right?
Don't want to reveal any secrets. It's pretty exciting.
So in the update, we have 36 different...
Nemesis with the egg thing, yes.
We just recorded the patch video. I recorded that, and we're at the patch.
I have no idea, Slab, but it looks amazing.
20 minutes long, and I try to condense it as much as possible, but there's just so dang much going into the patch that it's very, very long. In the patch, I say there's 37 woven echoes, and the team called me out on it. So I apologize. There's 36. We'll get to 37 very shortly. I promise you.
Yeah, just slam in on the work for that one extra echo. Just put it in.
I agree.
Okay, I'm ready again.
All right, you ready? All right, go for it.
Okay, so this is the thing that you saw teased in the very original teaser trailer.
Offer a unique legendary Weaver's item as sacrifice to the Weaver so that she may re-roll another matching item according to design. Accept sacrifices of equal or higher potential. Okay, let's see.
Which has a sacrifice and a reroll.
Oh.
So this allows you to... I have another, yeah. So this allows you to sacrifice a unique or set item, or reverse will item, to reroll the implicit. So in here, the movement speed would be an implicit, which already is the highest roll, and then the actual affixes as well, which also happen to be.
Okay, so it spins. It's a blessing and a divine in terms of Path of Exile talk.
The modded item, and
do I even know what those shards or what those runes are called in Last Epoch? There's a rune of shaping for the implicit, and the one for explicits is called a rune of... Does anyone know without looking it up? Rune of shaping's the implicit. If refinement? How come blessing and divine are still in my brain? Order? I use orders more than anyone else. I've used an order like 4 times in my life.
The cool thing here is that remember all of the red rings that went to 0 LP?
Mm-hmm.
If I go to Nemesis, then they're most likely to get like some bad affixes. So what you can do with those failed legendaries is you could put them here. Like for example here, I only have a... Well, okay, this is a very bad example, but I could imagine that the tier 7 int here is like a tier 4 or something like that. So I could use this to re-roll the values here. And obviously because this had everything perfectly rolled before, stuff went down. But this is a way to basically those failed legendaries to spend them and hopefully like over a longer period of time, or just the first time get lucky and improve your items. So this is another way to slowly improve your items. And obviously this has some restrictions. So I cannot reroll 1 LP red ring with a 0 LP. It has to have at least a similar power level. So in this case, it would be badly rolled 1 like affix legendary red rings, most likely.
Got it.
But this is another...
They were getting rid of one of the runes? No, the runes that they're getting rid of, we know which ones they are. They are... They are removing the rune of research and the glyph of insight. Those are the 2 things that allowed you to interact with experimental affixes on items. Did we get patch notes? No, we did not. But they're removing research and glyph of insight. Chat, move on from talking about Ziz. Find a different topic.
Keep like slowly upgrading your items. Because we've had a lot of people ask for ways to, be able to do something with uniques. Because sometimes you get lucky, you get 3 LP or something like that, and then all of the other rolls on it are terrible. Now, through the Nemesis Egg, which I think is probably the best way to get like legendaries with like 2 affixes for something like red rings, like the more rare items, because it has a relatively high chance to just add affix on both of the rolls, like both of the upgrades, and you can just use those as a reroll fodder now, which is pretty exciting. So all of those badly rolled legendaries now have a purpose. No,
That's
can have a
great.
purpose. Yeah. And again here, obviously, you can open the stash through the crafting window.
Holy moly, dude.
If you didn't like, put stashes here.
Yeah, you don't want to dirty up the place. It looks.
How do I? What's this? Click play.
So there's a lot of reasons for that, but one
This is
being
the
that
intelligence
it can already kind of roll everywhere, and there's only
stuff.
like
Yeah.
1 or 2 skills in the game that, as a baseline, scale with it. So it's not like, I don't say it's not a core attribute, but it's kind of not compared to the other 4. And we wouldn't be allowing you to get vitality on bases that it wouldn't roll normally, because that just puts more pressure onto your prefix as well, because now your prefix can also provide you health through vitality. So we don't want to put too much pressure on there.
Great. All right. Well, you just showed off 3 awesome Woven Echoes. No more spoilers for Woven Echoes. That's the set. The rest we can.
What are the chances that we have another Falcon Reward incident? That's a great question.
Experience on game day?
That seems sensible.
We have a lot of good ones.
Yeah.
We have a lot of good ones for sure.
Excellent.
Let me look
Okay.
at this thing here.
Mage. Oh yeah, these are new ones. And then like the boss or complete, like beacon and stuff like that.
I don't know what this is in the middle. All the new scenery that's in the background looks amazing.
So one of the new objectives is to slay enemies until you find these cocooned uniques. And so
They said they're
when
not
you
going
try
to do that, Elvin.
Put this on, it just reveals a random unique. And we're getting really lucky with just everything having it's LP, it looks like. Damn.
Wow.
These do have
there we go,
a slightly increased chance to roll LP.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I don't remember exactly how much, but you are more likely to get LP.
If
on
they
these.
said slightly increased chance.
And yeah, I can't wait
What's
to see
the
these,
purpose of having them be cocooned? Why didn't they just drop like this? What's the cocooned thing? What's it mean?
Reveals a full stash of cocooned items videos. I'm ready. Oh, there's some uniques here. I see.
Oh, we got to look at them.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if they're rolling,
Yeah,
it's
that
fate.
looks like this looks like a new unique, which was the one of my mentioning where just stacking curses helps, and you can get curses on other masteries than being a warlock. Basically, a lot of the curses on warlock basically require you to be a warlock to get them, because some of them come from skill trees or from the some skills. So if you are playing Acolyte,
Oh,
but you're not
absolutely, Exile.
a warlock, such as a necromancer for minions, you can get some other cool curses for them. So yeah.
Okay, dude, that item art. Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
You
Oh,
like
yeah.
it?
Yeah.
You like it? You like that item art?
There's
I
a
bet you
couple
do.
different versions. I think there's 3 different versions of this.
Oh.
So these, there's a Bone Curse, Inflicts Penance, Decrepify, and then Acid Skin is the last one. These are kind of cool. And
Sick.
I think we might have mentioned something about the Weaver tree. We might want to look at.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, go for it. You need some time to prepare.
No, I can just.
Oh,
I can
wow.
just
Here we
open
go.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, I can just open it. So yeah, we have.
What's
a
the
lot
icon
of cool
differences on that amulet? Different curse.
customization, and it might look like a small tree at first, but most of these now just have multiple points you can put in them, so you can.
Did Carp just freeze?
Oh, I think he did.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you guys didn't shut him down, did you? Did you cut him off?
we pulled the plug on him. We talked to HR. We're like, pull the plug. You showed too much.
Oh, see. He was unveiling everything.
I believe
It's
there's, like,
less
here, yeah.
likely that Carve is spoiling something that he's not meaning to when Judd is sitting right there.
Oh, he's back.
And since we are talking about itemization,
Carve,
Much
you're-
less
back,
likely.
Carve.
yes, I can hear you.
Oh,
Okay,
cool.
you were
Okay.
away for about 20, 30 seconds there.
Oh, he didn't.
You had
miss out
ended
too
at
much.
like it looks like it's a small small tree.
Okay, yeah,
multiple
yeah.
points.
Yes, most of these points. You
Yeah,
can put
I don't
multiple points in
understand
them,
the cocooned item
to-
yet. I don't so suppose that we have any like EHD people in chat right now, but that'd be a good question to get answered. Like why, if a cocooned item is just a unique item of that slot that has increased LP, why not just let the item have increased LP and drop on the ground like that? What's the cocoon offering?
get a higher benefit of what the node provides. Like for example, you have some loot lizard spawn rates. They come from caches. You can get some more lizard tails and guaranteed unique item whenever you unburden loot lizards. Since we don't slay them, we help them. And since
True.
we are in an itemization discussion,
Maybe
we
trade?
might wanna take a
Ugh.
look,
Ugh.
or discuss some of these a bit. So we have these cool nodes in the tree that allow you to imprint an item in there. So, for example, do I happen to have some? Let's say that for there. So you can imprint these items in the Weaver tree, and then when you do specific things, for example, in this one, when you get echo rewards, you have a chance to get similar items to what you have imprinted here. So, for example, it could provide bone amulets because that's the base. It could provide uniques because it's a unique. In the cases of exalted items, etc., or like legendaries, affixes that are there.
I mean, I'm just gonna put a red ring in here, right?
Of them. There's some limitations, like for example, you can't get boss-specific uniques. Like if you put
Like
the
that's
allies here,
what
like
we're
looking
all
at
gonna
the
do.
Uber
I'm
uniques,
gonna do it. I
here,
don't know what
they
you.
will not drop randomly. I'm not sure if we currently are excluding them from here, but it is explained here. But so these allow you to greatly enhance the ability to find not only the base types but also the item type. Like
What's the incentive currently to play a character after killing Aberoth? You like the game, you want to keep playing, or maybe you want to finish your character, quote unquote, or maybe you have a personal goal to get to 1,000 corruption or 2,000 corruption, or finish your character, quote unquote. In the future, the current Aberoth is accessible at 300, but your character might need to be higher than that to do anything. In the future, Uber Aberoth will be accessible at 500 corruption, but your character will probably need to be a bit stronger to take it down. Won't you usually drop every first red ring in the guy? Oh my god, Paulina.
the subtypes. So not only not a ring, but like a iron ring or a silver ring, for example. And I'd expect to see a lot of these imprints with some stuff like red rings and whatnot. In hopes of people getting those. And we have so this is armor and jewelry. Then we have one that is armor and weapon, and then we have weapon and jewelry. So you can't just put red ring on all of them. We had a long discussions about how we want to do that, or if you want to limit them. I think currently there isn't a node that would allow you to have an idol in here, but that might be something in the future. We'll see. And then this one on the top is an interesting one, because this is specific to slaying champions, and the item that you have here has a chance to drop the item that comes out of it with one of the affixes as a sealed one.
Uh-huh.
So there's some cool potential stuff you can do here as well.
Yeah, and worth noting that you're imprinting these items, so you're not losing the ability to equip them. So if you've got your
Yes,
red ring, you need
correct.
to keep wearing it. You know, it's imprinting it. You're not losing it.
Yeah, as you can see.
Okay.
Let's take this.
Okay.
Let's take this as an example. For example, here at the fang.
That's cool.
When I put it here, it is still here, so you don't actually lose it. So
Yeah.
it's just there.
You can put a 1FX item. So you can put a 1FX item in there, but there was additional text. Let me show you the text real quick. It was... imprint, this thing, imprint. The the number of items in the pile is equal to the number of affixes on the item. So if you put more affixes on the item, then you're dropping more individual items and like having a higher chance to get something. They drop a pile of items of the same item type that always have a sealed affix matching one of them. The tier of the sealed affix can roll up to the tier of the corresponding affix in the item. The chance of a pile of these items dropping is multiplied by the number of affixes on the item. Ruins your plans? Well, not necessarily, but like these are calculations you got to think about, right? Because they saw you coming in particular.
Which is cool. And then you can, I think we revealed this already, but you can imprint 2 Woven Echoes. So if there's some particular Woven Echoes that you really like, you can imprint them. And then they will just spawn on your Echo Web. Obviously, more rare and rewarding ones have a lower chance, but they're pretty cool.
Like Uber Aberath, you can put on here.
Yes. If you imprint 2 Uber Aberoth Woven Echoes here, you are able to just randomly get Uber Aberoth
Hello.
in your web. Yes.
Well, that's pretty sweet.
I'd like to talk about the customization. So a lot of things why I really like this is you can do things like you can convert some of the rewards. Like for example, this one, the glyph is no longer a reward. It's now something else instead. Then we have the obvious no longer getting arena echoes, which is cool. And there's a lot of interesting things here. Oh, we're getting ads again, it looks like.
Getting ads again? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Stall for a sec.
Spam.
Dang, I ran as many ads as possible, everybody. I'll wait to ask my next question then about this.
Go fast
Back-to-back
forward.
Nemesis. People are really going to enjoy that one because you get to see the evolution of the items very rapidly.
My favorite by far. It's just the Abyssal Trap where Shade just pops into your echo and wants to have a chat.
That's cool.
Yeah, and as I mentioned earlier on, like one of the reasons we added a system like this is to ensure that when we're adding new seasonal mechanics, that we've got a method they are ready to modify and interact with that. So that's going to help us in the long term as well.
And do you think when you add a new seasonal mechanic, you might immediately add it to the Weaver tree, or will you wait to see if the community enjoys it and then add it post-season if it ends up staying in the game?
Yeah, I think at the moment, anything we're adding seasonally is added to the base game. I don't think we're at a point where we wouldn't add a system like Nemesis and then take it away because it's too valuable. The game needs more of those random encounters. At a certain point, that would be the case. But we're probably a wee bit far out from doing that.
Amazing, love it.
Nice.
Now that I was on a Shade, I got another thing I wanted to really mention is, and this is pretty relevant for items. So farming items from Shade. When we added when we buffed the corruption catch-up, so if you have one timeline at a very high corruption, and then you want to farm Shade at like a lower corruption because it's faster or whatever, safer, what ended up happening is your timeline went up in corruption because you killed Shade through the corruption catch-up. And then what you had to do is you had to do the echo in the middle at the start to lower the corruption again, and then go farm another Shade. And it was just really tedious, annoying little thing that we totally missed on that because we wanted to buff the corruption catch-up, and there were people who wanted to farm Shade at a very specific lower corruption than their highest is. So now if you take this node, you can farm Shade in that specific corruption, and it doesn't increase the corruption anymore with the catch-up mechanic. So any Shade farmers who want to do very specific corruption.
Heartseeker Bow Mage? Yeah. I'd sign up for it.
You gotta love it.
Yeah. A lot of good stuff in here.
Yeah, there is. Something maybe trivial popped into my head, Judd, when you talked about climbing the tower with the Nemesis.
Yeah.
Are all of these Woven Echoes new environments, like new maps? I know that might seem like little, but I'm just a big fan of new places, and I saw one that looked like it was on an island in the middle of the ocean, and some monster was swimming around. Are these all new or a mix?
I think the majority of them are brand new.
Yeah.
Oh,
the vast majority. Yeah, the vast majority.
The vast majority are brand
Some of
new.
them are like
That's
new,
big.
and also in the sense of maybe.
I'm gonna fast
era.
forward. Hold on.
To go watch a streamer because there's Twitch drops.
Oh,
to get
big.
some
Did I fast forward to the perfect place?
cool FTX.
Unbelievable.
And then the other one would be to keep your chat open to really live through the all the fun and hype and everything that people are chatting on the and helping each other. And even if you are an offline player, instead of going full offline mode, you could go just through offline while
Fine,
having
I'll
chat
update it.
to
Hold
be
on.
able to chat with people while playing to not feel so alone. Even though there's a lot of people who like to play alone, but I especially like to just chat with people. Like I'm gonna be chatting in hardcore for sure.
Awesome. You got to share your drops in global. You just have to do it. It makes the game feel so much funner.
Oh yeah, just link all the GG stuff that you get from Nemesis early on, because you can get tier 7s from Nemesis with on legendaries and whatnot. You just link those on chat and you're just like, oh, what is that? It's good times.
Your hardcore deaths or achievements will also be in chat via announcements as well. That's something new to season 2.
Oh, that's so cool. That's awesome.
So you
One more time?
You got to share your drops in global. You just have to do it. It makes the game feel so much funner.
Oh yeah, just link all the GG stuff that you get from Nemesis early on, because you can get tier 7s from Nemesis with legendaries and whatnot. You just link those on chat and you're just like, oh, what is that? It's good times.
Your hardcore deaths or achievements will also be in chat via announcements as well. That's something new to season 2.
Oh, that's so cool. That's awesome.
So you can at the start of a season you can feel you can live vicariously through others. That's how I do it.
I love it.
That is exciting. Love those.
I'm not sure if that has been told before. I'm not sure if that.
I think that's what Carv was kind of hinting around.
Yeah, I was trying to go around the bar. Yeah.
Yeah. We're really excited to get that across the line for sure. It'll be a good one.
That's exciting, you guys. Well, if there's nothing else, thank you so much for your time. I think the number one thing being spammed right now is servers take our energy. Everybody's so excited to log in. It's going to be a really big day, you guys. Congratulations on this lead.
Now, hold on. I gotta do something real quick.
And I.
So I think right now.
All right, so hold on.
3.
I just.
Okay. This should be it.
Just the beginning. Just the beginning. Hold on.
Hello.
Oh, we're got to change category. Sorry, yeah. Let's change out of last epoch. Thank you.
Just for a moment. I've been told that the first 5 minutes are good.
All right. Let's see it. Here we go.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right,
Very quiet.
Audio test. I'm going to turn you up to 120. Let's test again.
Okay. That sound good? Hello. This is Mark.
Still very quiet.
Let's see. Still louder. Okay, I'll turn you up to 160.
Okay.
Try talking.
Can you? How does it sound now? Does that sound alright?
And how does this sound? This is Mark again.
Louder. 200.
We might be able to get it turned up on our end.
Well, I think now is good. I'm going to try to get a...
Okay.
Ooh. But I have echo when I speak, I think. Yeah, I can hear myself.
Okay. All right. We'll just get out.
You guys are scaring me in the chat. Oh my gosh. Guys, you're literally terrifying me. Should I not watch this on stream? Am I going to get depressed?
I'm in the same place, man.
Because I'm on cloud 9 right now, because that was an amazing chat with these dudes. I don't know, because everybody's saying how it's like, okay, all right, guys, let's buckle in. Let's buckle in, you guys. Here we go.
Audio guide.
Still very quiet.
Fix that.
Yeah.
All right. Can you try again now?
All right, hello? Testing, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I don't think I have echo anymore. How...
Have I seen this?
Let
No.
me add to my thing that I'm watching.
Should I watch this on? Like, I don't want to watch a broadcast of a broadcast of a broadcast. Is there just a different broadcast I can watch? It's on Ziz's channel. This one. All right.
So, hopefully
Oh, it's louder. Good. All right.
But yeah, I'm ready to start. I'll do just a quick intro and then we go. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me here for a podcast after the launch of Point 2. This is Jonathan and Neon, for those that don't know, directors of JGG. And yeah, we're
Neon's the guy who likes
talk
killing
about the
people, right?
launch.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's always good to have a chat. Obviously it's a bit of a contentious launch in some ways this time. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of questions about that. But it's always good to have a chat.
Yeah. No, I do have a lot of questions, so I think we'll just get right into it.
Sure.
A lot of people are pretty unhappy with the current state of the game, especially our relative power to the monsters earlier on. And obviously we are finding some builds that are feeling okay and that are stronger, but I'm asking, are the slower and more challenging builds the intended pace of the game?
Well, I don't know that. Once again, I mean, we get this question a lot, right? Of just the like, what is the pace of the game supposed to be? And I honestly find it hard to answer that because of the way that like there isn't really a like an obvious way to even quantify that, given that players have so many different abilities. What I will make all I can say is that if people are unhappy, then we will keep on improving things until they're not unhappy anymore. Because ultimately, we want to get the smooth progression where you start the game, you feel weak, you get stronger, you get stronger, you get stronger, you keep on feeling stronger and stronger. Like you have to have that like progression where you're feeling more and more powerful as you're going through. So if you're not feeling that, then that means there's something that we have to improve and get better. So like it really comes down to like, okay, if you're talking about a weaker build, like, well, what build is it? And then we'll be looking into that and seeing what we can do to improve it. Like we just have to go through these things one at a time.
So I think right now the problem is that it's almost every build this week for a lot of archetypes, and that it's more like it's definitely in the minority that people are like, oh, I found something that works. So it's like almost like the reverse there. And I guess I'm curious, like what amount of time are you expecting people to take going through the entire campaign, or on your own test run, or like when you're doing test runs, how long do you take on a first campaign?
He really did come out with the emotional questions, didn't he? He's not like, how are you feeling about the patch so far? Like, what were the goals of 0.2? Like, it sounds like you slowed down the game because like the patch notes had a lot of nerfs in it. How do you feel about that? Yeah, no warm-up questions. Just like, everyone's sad. What do you got to say about that? Whoa.
Campaign run.
He did come in hot.
I actually haven't measured that on the current version, and it doesn't necessarily always work that way. Like the number of times I play through the
Oh, did he?
And when
Gotcha.
I say campaign here, I'm talking about 6 acts, not just 3.
Yeah.
If you're talking about the amount of time, like doing that, I might only do that that full run like 2 or 3 times in total as we're developing a class.
Yeah.
Like much more often I'm like either testing this part or I'm testing that part or whatever. And I honestly am not sure exactly what amount of time that's taking. But like as I said, I don't know that like the time. Like the thing is, the presupposition with this question is that that we have a goal in mind for the amount of time for the campaign. And the implication of that is that the campaign itself is not fun. But it's like, if that's the implication, then we just want to make that fun, right? It's like the campaign should be fun to play. The amount of time it takes, to me, is not nearly as relevant as just make it fun, right? If you aren't having fun, we want to make sure that it is. So like, that's why, when we're like, okay, people are saying like, we don't like the Act 3 areas, make those shorter. It's like, well, what amount of, I don't think that quantifying that in an amount of time is the right way to look at it. It's like, here are some areas that are unfun. I'll make those areas fun, and then whatever the duration of time that takes will not be bothering you. And that may result in the areas becoming shorter, but making it shorter is not like it isn't a time metric that we are looking at to determine whether or not the game is good. Is the game good fun to play? So like that I guess is kind of the way that I would look at things. And that's, I think, what puts us a little bit, like when it comes to communication with the community, like people will have their opinion about what they think is the reason that the game isn't fun, and they might be right or they might not be right or whatever, but at the end of the day what we're looking at is just like, okay, you're obviously having a bad time, we want to fix that. So we're going to look at so what we'll do is we'll be like, okay, so you're saying Act 3 isn't good, we'll look at Act 3, we'll look at the reasons why it might be bad, we'll fix those reasons, and then that may or may not reduce the time. Or in this case, it definitely will. Like, it's shortened it by a lot. But to me, it's like the frustrating thing is when you go down a dead end and you're like, okay, like this is bad, or and then like you have to respawn, or in the area doesn't like the area despawns and you're like, you have to do things again, that kind of stuff, right? That's the stuff that people don't like to do. And so that's where we sort of look at. And so then when it coming back to builds again, once again, it's like, okay, if you're not having fun with your build, then that is a problem. We'll fix that. But it's not like there's a correct pace for the game to be played at as such. We just need to make sure that you're enjoying yourself.
Well, I guess a follow-up to that was I, along with many others, were not expecting a nerf to just how the campaign felt in general, right? In the last interview I heard, it really sounded like the intention was to target things at the top end. But there were so many things that nerfed us during the campaign here. And
the thing I would say about that.
I would like to finish.
Sure. Okay.
A lot of people are really wondering about the long-term direction for the game with that in mind, because they were also not expecting that. So a lot of
we
people are
weren't intending to
wondering
nerf the
if
campaign, to be clear.
that was going to be my
That
question.
was not our
Okay.
intention.
So
Yeah, we
so
were
we
not
should be more
intending that. Like,
powerful than we currently are during the campaign then.
well, that one I will have to look at specific cases, right? Because like that comes down to like okay, so like we already did something about that, right? Where we like nerfed monster life, and it's possible that we'd have to nerf monster
gonna
life
keep
again
watching.
if that's still a problem. Like that's the kind of thing that we can do. But the thing is that like the as I said, like the first thing we heard when everyone was saying this, the first thing we thought was like, what the hell? We didn't even nerf the campaign. Like literally, that's what all the developers were saying. We didn't nerf this. Why is everyone saying we nerfed it? And so like then it's like, well, we found a few things, but like we're still looking for what those things are. And like it's not always necessarily obvious with all the changes that you make and things, because I can absolutely tell you that our goal here was nerf the end game, right? Like nerf the no, it wasn't even nerf the end game. What it was nerf the things that were trivializing the end game before you've even managed to get the like your items and stuff like that.
The
Like,
answer's
just the
good?
really trivial easy shit. Like that was our intention.
I mean, there were some blatant fuck ups.
Yeah, yeah. Like, so
speaking bluntly,
yeah,
right? Like
I mean-
the minion change was just bad.
And when you say the minion change, are you referring to the rare minions or referring to the player minions? Because those are both. Both of those were
both
incredibly
were
terrible.
just fuck
yes.
up. Yes.
Yes, those were just fuck ups. And the thing is,
We,
it's so easy for shit for like that to slip through.
Well, we have a bit of and look, a lot of it is just because there's a little bit of like it's early access, so we're allowed. But we like are firing from the hip a lot here. And the stuff like that, like let's get it in there, let's try it out, see how people think, and if it's bad, we just undo it, right? Like we do regress on a decent number of things in the first few days of a release, and so yeah, there are some pretty blatant fuck ups. So yeah, that's exactly what happened with the rare minion life. It was like, why are now? I don't know why it felt this way, but 100% it was the case that the minions was for some reasons the rare minions were surviving longer than the rare often, and it's like, well, they don't have anywhere near as much life as the rare. And then again, once people got enough AoE and all of that, it solved it. But it was just a bad experience. There was just nothing good about that.
Right. I think there was definitely a compounding of a few factors that were like on their own relatively small. But the thing is that and this is the question that I have is that like if people are still having a bad time during the campaign, if they're starting fresh now, because bear in mind as well that people will have an experience and then we'll change the balance behind them, and then they still remember that the experience was bad and they're not playing it again to know that it got better. So the thing is, if you're playing it again and still having a bad experience in the campaign, then that would be a thing where it's like, okay, well, where are the campaign nerfs actually? Like we have to find where they are, because I don't like. I don't know.
I'm waiting for the good Ziz
there,
answer.
That we're sort of aware of left, and I think like that one just means that
I can give examples.
There might still be issues.
Yeah.
Sure. We'll go for it.
So
what are some?
So the number one, especially to me, most oppressive thing is the relative speed of monsters compared to our abilities to set things up. Like whenever you're talking...
Hang on, but that's not a thing that changed though.
No, but that's been continuously bad. It doesn't matter if it's changed or not.
Okay, sure. But what I'm saying is that so this is an example.
Well, I think that has changed.
But that's just an example of something that's bad. So what I'm saying is that's not a thing that changed. So like, if you're talking about like, is it your intention to nerf the campaign?
But we
no,
are weaker now, right? A lot of skills.
But if you're saying that's bad, I mean that's a different question, right?
A lot of skills are weaker now, right? They were tuned down on a lot of things, and things that people are starting with weren't necessarily strong. So that relative speed of the monsters feels extra bad. Like you want us to set up these combos and stuff, right? Where we're throwing down like a cyclone and trying to do like a combo move, but the monsters are way too fast. They're rushing us. It's not even like the bosses are the main problem, right? Like if you're seeing like clips.
Yeah, so let's talk about the monster speed thing. So one of the issues that we have is that if monsters are slower than the player, then combat is optional. Like it's just 100% the case. Like you cannot if the
Feels like more like a conversation. Well, this one Ziz has played the game and he has
just run past
experience.
them and they serve no like.
And
they
the
don't,
other
like,
one, Try,
effectively
is
you
just
just
asking
choose whether or
questions
not to
because he
engage
doesn't
or
have
not.
first-hand experience.
And like,
played yet.
I don't think that kind of gameplay is good. Now there will probably be some areas like, and the thing is, a lot of the time when people talk about stuff like this, it's like there'll be a few areas that are bad. Like I know there are definitely a few areas where like too many of the monsters are fast. So the Faradin are a good example of that. Where like when you go to the last areas of Act 2, like the Faradin are just really, really fast, and there's kind of nothing slow in the area, and so that's an example where like we probably want to make some tuning.
I mean,
there.
to get more specific, like I have someone right now literally going through the areas, all areas in the campaign, and listing all the areas that have a disproportionately high number of monsters that are too swarmy or too fast.
Right.
They're doing it literally as we speak up. And my intention after this is to go through. And so, like, I mean, a good example is like the canopy, right?
Yeah,
the
for
canopy.
sure.
The monsters are real fast, and then not only that, you're in a ritual with them in a tight, confined space, and it just you end up in this kind of moving around with packs. So if you're not fast enough to kill everything, you just get absolutely swarmed. And yeah,
I guess I'm
But
a
the
little.
thing, but just to
well,
just to continue with that though, I just want to mention that like one of the issues we run into is like people will say, oh, you know, like things should never be faster than the player and that kind of stuff. And it's like, well, if we did that, then the game would feel pretty lame. So it really is a question of like targeted changes, like finding where the worst things are and then solving that issue.
I really disagree with that. So you were saying like if the monsters are slower than the player, then combat is optional. But like it's an ARPG. We want to kill the monsters. That's where all the loot is. That's where our XP is. Like sure, you'll have some speedrun scenarios where people are running past them, but usually what ends up happening is that we're running past them, bunching them up in a large bunch and killing a bunch of them, and that just feels really good. That's a core part of ARPGs for a lot of people. So I don't think that being faster than the monster is as bad as you think it is. Like we actively want to kill monsters. That is the entire premise.
Well, I don't.
just like 3 seconds, like, you know, Ziz, you might be onto something.
don't necessarily disagree with you that gather and killing is fun, right? And you should still be able to do that. But I would, as I said, I don't think anything about the fact that some monsters are faster than the player prevents that. I don't think you can have areas where everything is slower than the player. Like it really isn't that great. In PoE 1, in the distant past, we had that problem, and it just meant that running past monsters was the thing you did all the time. And then there were some changes, like, I don't know how many years ago it was, like, what was it, 4 years or something like that? When was the Act 1 like thing? Like, we made changes where we made a lot of monsters faster than the player. And at the time, and that wasn't negatively perceived at the time, it just made the monsters feel better that we had there. So, like, you absolutely can have monsters faster than the player, and I do think it's important to have those kinds of situations.
If you're
it
talking
just
about
shouldn't be that it's it's just that like you need to make sure you're getting the balance right. And I think that that's like a running theme with PoE 2 in general is that the target to hit is smaller. Like because if we want the combat to be more engaging, then that means there's a smaller target that it puts more pressure on the balance to be right. And so I think that's the main issue that we're running into is just that it's okay if everything.
That's a good nuanced answer. I like the past
this is sort of
minute
a
or
larger
so.
topic, right? But effectively, it's like in PoE 1, there are so many tools that the knowledge ceiling is absolutely astronomical, and so you have a situation where a good player can completely dominate everything to like the absolute nth degree, right? Now, what that means is that you've got a scenario where the game seems like an impenetrable mountain to a new player because like if you don't know what you're doing, the game is just like impossible to understand. And it's like there's all these tools that you can use to improve yourself, but the existence of everything like that and like having such a huge skill ceiling means that you can just trivialize the game right at the start.
That's okay, isn't it? If a good player has a bunch of tools and then uses those tools to trivialize the game, isn't that a good thing? He's about to say, and that's a good thing, isn't it? He's about to say that's a good thing. Hold on.
And so like what that also means though is that like if we get balance numbers wrong, like if a monster has like double life by accident in PoE 1, it like doesn't even really matter. Whereas if a monster has double life in PoE 2, it matters a lot. And so what I'm saying is that the threshold for what is right is like way tighter in PoE 2, and so that means it will just take longer to balance and get it all correct. But it really is the case, I think, that
Are they balancing PoE 2 based on people who are good at the game? Is the target audience for PoE 2 people who like already play? It kind of sounds like it is. No. He doesn't want to change something because a noob doesn't know it. Then he's going to lose against someone. Yeah. Confusing based on this argument. Okay, so you're confused too. Me too. Good.
it's getting all those numbers right that kind of makes it like that will make the combat ultimately fun at the end of the day. And like if we're doing our job correctly, then we'll still have this situation where a good player feels like they dominate and a bad player feels like they have a good time. But we won't have a situation where if you're a good player, the combat is so trivialized that you literally never have a moment where you're in any danger or have any kind of like level of like sort of interest going on. And I think that's the worry that we have when we're looking at things is like, if we get to the point where like a good player never has to face a single challenge ever, then I don't think that that's going to be a game that will ultimately be fun in the long term. And so that's kind of
Saying good player is a really broad category. Because, like, is a good player someone who has 1,000 hours in PoE 1 and, like, now they're playing PoE 2? Or is a good player like Ben? You know what I mean? There have been studies on people who do extreme sports and the adrenaline rush, and then their like life satisfaction that they have, that they self-report. And like at the very beginning of doing extreme sport, like they get a lot of adrenaline, like they like really high spike in like how much they're enjoying their life, and it like tapers off. It goes to like the adrenaline rush is much lower as they do the extreme sport more and more, but like their general reported life satisfaction is like still high. You know what I mean? Or like higher than average or something. A good player gets, I guess it's like working out, I guess. Good player goes do what they envisioned. That seems like a little bit of shade right there. If good players are complaining because it's too much of a chore for the sake of being a chore. Yeah, probably not. I've heard that as well. I wonder which good player they're talking about. Your T16 numbers and delirious in 1 because the challenge in the true fund is making an insane build. Yeah. Except the Holy Vision. But like a good player who's very practiced. We're not talking like someone with 1,000 hours. We're talking about someone with like 20 or 30,000 hours. Like a good player should not be struggling. A person with 20,000 hours should not be struggling because they have 20,000 hours. Right? I would think so. It's more of like you're very experienced and you're going through the motions because you are that top end player, right?
Like
I would think.
like so that is to me the reason, like what I fear happening if we just like say, okay, we're just gonna like
I'm
lower
worried
everything and make it
that
easy.
when Jonathan
And
talks
once
about
again, that isn't to say
like
that we
a
shouldn't
good player, that there's multiple tiers of being a good player.
like maybe Monster Life does have to come down. Like if we're in the wrong band, we just need to lower it, and that's fine. Like we will get to the point where that is fun, but we'll do that by while still making sure that we have a good experience.
Living on the internal testing world, now they're getting a bunch of feedback from the outside.
For everyone, right? Like it should be the case that is balanceable to that way.
It's in beta.
It's just a lot harder in PoE2 context.
Well, I think a large portion want like bosses to be what is the challenging content, whereas right now it's almost the reverse, where there's so many clips of like people like dodge rolling away from like packs, right, and they're getting chased down, maybe not having a counterplay, and they're like, oh my god, I'm just being chased down. So, and also I sort of disagree on the Act 1 changes in PoE 1 not being negatively received. I do remember there was quite a lot of people that really didn't like that because of what you mentioned with. Like the faster monsters is generally a bad thing. So I definitely do disagree with that.
Just because I'm a like to have things to actually go and start to address. Like, can I get a gauge on what you think is like where in the game it starts to become a problem, or do you think it's like just straight out of the gate?
Straight out of the gate. Like even the second zone, like the first zone might be okay, but the second.
I heard that the tutorial of PoE 2 is like super difficult. I saw a clip of someone, what were they doing? They were like streaming via Starlink or something. And they just like died to a tutorial boss. Like, is the tutorial really that hard?
Zone with the wolves, it's like pretty like instant, where I don't feel like I'm getting that like ARPG playstyle.
But won't we be hurting more players than we're helping with that?
By making monsters slower?
Won't that immediately make it? Yeah, won't that immediately mean that like a ton of players who actually enjoy the game because the combat is engaging immediately, like what, doesn't it kill the game for them?
That's wild, right? Whoa. his response? That's a totally wild response, isn't it? He's like, if we change the game, doesn't it make it worse for people who like the game right now? That's wild.
Like what I'm saying is, like, it's easy to say, like, oh, you make the game easier and everyone's happy, but it isn't the case. Like, a lot of people prefer the game to, like, actually have some challenge in it. Like, for example, right? Okay, so here's the thing, right? So every night I go home and I play, and I like do test runs of everything, right? And it's like, if we made it so that there wasn't any challenge for me in Act 1, I wouldn't play the game anymore. And that isn't helping anyone, right? Like, I need to keep playing the game every night to actually enjoy myself. It's like, if I'm not enjoying myself, then it's like, how can I even develop the game correctly?
Is he
so
the
on some
target
level, it's
audience?
like, it has to be fun for me.
Is he the
And I know
target
that if you,
audience?
like,
Is he making the game fun for him to test?
if you get to the point of having like everything just be trivial, it's like, well, okay, like, why am I even playing this anymore? So that there has to be some level of challenge. Now,
There's just a lot.
That's
just
wild.
Thinking more on the specific. There's a big spectrum here. Like, for example, I know I have seen the feedback of Act 1 minus Canopy and Mana feel generally good on the pacing, the speed of monsters. You
Right.
feel like you can almost do no hit
Wild.
runs, is like kind of what people have said. And then you get to Act 2, and it's not
What'd you
too bad at the
say?
very start. And then you get to
117?
the like Halani gates, and it's like, okay, now everything's gone
Right-
off the
right here?
reservation.
Farah
Okay,
didn't
gotcha.
have a problem.
And then you
And
get
there's the
so
Titan Valley as
I've seen
well,
I've seen
yeah.
a decent spectrum like that, and I 100% want to fix that. Like,
right.
so that's why I was asking you for your example, because there's just a lot of people on the different spectrums here that want different things, and I'm sort of trying.
In PoE 2 right now, either in point 1 or in point 2, do you ever get to a point of like blasting? Do you ever get to a point of like your build feels good and you're just like pew pew pew, blow things up? You're just like running one map or another map and another. In point 1, you definitely did. Like that's Path of Exile, isn't it? For some skills, depends on the build. Last patch you did. To me, that's what Path of Exile is. And like sometimes you jump through a lot of hoops to blast in a different way because you enjoyed the process of having a gigantic brain of jumping through a bunch of hoops. And sometimes you just follow like the meta cookie cutter thing, and like that's how you got to the point of blasting maps. But like the blasting maps portion, that's Path of Exile. You start slow, you end up killing gods, you blow shit up. The vision is to Konami code your way through every pack. The real problem is that they're torn in two directions, blast versus no blast, and everyone's torn over where it needs to be. I would think, maybe, perhaps, that's a good place to divide it into two different video games. Where like Path of Exile 1 is blasting, and Path of Exile 2 is like, that's not the end game. Like the end game is never that you blast. I don't know. Chad, I played like 2 hours of PoE 2.
Understand what how much we would need to change things for the discussion with you as opposed to with other players.
Right.
So that's all I was asking there, because I do intend on slowing down those extreme zones, and I think there are like 10 of them. And I think that is at least something hopefully a lot of viewers are going to be happy to hear, which is like, okay, cool, they are going to address those. So the Dreadnought, Utsal, you've got Canopy. We're going to start. Those are the most egregious I'm listing.
Can I talk about Last Epoch? Hold on, I got Microsoft Paint here real quick. So someone in Twitch chat just said they want you to address every monster like a mini game. What'd you say? He wants monsters to require that you think about them, and then you have to do combos to kill them. Okay, so here's my 2 cents on this real quick. Okay, I can talk about this real quick. I think that action RPGs, like modern action RPGs, the ones that appeal to me, are close to hack and slash. And you love blowing a monster. Like this is the part of the game, like this is very subjective. This is what I enjoy. This might not be what you enjoy, but I love blowing shit up. So to me, anything that diverges from action RPG / hack and slash and ventures into another genre should be very lightweight and should be very much like the square goes in the square hole and the triangle goes in the triangle hole. Like puzzles that are added into the game really do not need to be like big brain puzzles. They should be like, you stand on this button right here and then the door opens, you know, like this should be the difficulty of the puzzle. Like, you're not playing a puzzle game. It should be, you know, if your action RPG that is, you know, basically a hack and slash, if it has a puzzle, this should be the complexity of the puzzle. It should be the memory game, very, very, very easy, right? So in Last Epoch, like, one of the things that I really enjoy is thick snake ladies. Hear me out. So the thick snake ladies, they kind of look like this. And what they do is they wiggle their hand around and they cast this giant laser sky beam at you. And their giant laser sky beam, it, you know, after two seconds, they channel and they cast the light beam, or the sky beam, and it makes this big thing. This is obviously Diamond Matrix that I'm talking about here. But like, if you're melee build, you know what to do, right? Your melee build, you should, when you encounter her, you look at her, she looks at you, you stand over here for, you know, for 2 seconds, she channels her laser on you and the indicator comes on the ground, and then you jump on her. You jump on the thick snake lady and then you blow her up, right? So you have this very simple play pattern that Khan Academy. You have this very simple play pattern of what to do when you see a diamond matron. And like, it's smarter than what you do, Lamau. And of course, this gets multiplied by every subsequent snake lady. And this also gets multiplied by the, what are they called? The not the ballistas. What are they called? The spires. It gets multiplied by spires. It gets multiplied by the Osprix dudes that, like, some of the ones jump on you. Some of the, like, the light mages put those little circles on the ground as well. Like this very, very small bit of simplicity gets multiplied by everything else. And like, Last Epoch does this really well. Last Epoch has another monster, if I can scroll down real quick, that what's he look like? He kind of looks like, and he's got like a big old body like this, and he's got 2 big arms, like that, like that, and we've got some like lasers coming out of here, and he's got like a drill on one arm, right? And then he's got like a cannon or something, whatever. And like, he always punches with that arm. So if you walk clockwise around him, you never get hit. You know what I mean? Yeah, this, you know that guy. The yeah, he looks like, looks like this. There you go, that guy. Oh, that guy. But like, if you just like walk clockwise around him, it's easy peasy, right? But like, these very, very simple puzzles and these very, very simple methods of interacting with monsters, it's amazing. It's so good. Yeah, turn speed too. Love it. But like, if Jonathan is saying that every monster should be a puzzle, the puzzle should be like putting the triangle in the triangle hole. That's all you need in your hack and slash RPG. Because once there's 10,000 monsters in the screen, it gets sufficiently difficult. Don't worry about it.
Saying those are the only problematic ones.
Yeah.
And then you got areas like Titan Valley,
Last
which
Epoch,
is just
well,
like
I only paused to make the point that Last Epoch does it well.
riddled with annoying monsters that are just like out of control. And you got heaps of this. So start there, and we keep working backwards until we catch as much as we can. And it's going to be a lot of different changes. So one could be
that's exactly what we're talking about. Yeah, in
why is it
Chariot,
that
but like
there are 6
the
different
difficulty, the
varieties, of which
complexity
all are just,
needs to be
as
that
you've,
big.
you know, heard people mentioning.
my
And I
opinion.
think I saw something that you had thing, which is they're playing PoE 1. I think,
Yeah,
which I thought was a
yeah.
funny comparison.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, yeah, okay, fair enough.
PoE 2 does
They
that
need
well.
to, not every monster needs
Good.
to slow down, but like, for example, some of them can be fast, and maybe the answer is, okay, they should be weaker. So sure, they engage you, but they die quick. Or maybe the answer is like there's too many of them, and then in a lot of the cases it's going to be like, okay, here's 6 different
Oh,
types
great.
of
That sounds like a
packs.
great idea. I like
Well,
that.
6 of them are fast. Well, that's a problem. 5 is fast. That's a problem. 4 are fast. That's a problem. 3 are fast. That's probably still a problem. But 2 are fast. That's probably more acceptable. So you
monsters
get
are still
2
playing
really slow,
PoE
maybe
1.
2 fast, 2 kind of in the middle, and you get some big slow monsters, some small monsters, and that distribution isn't quite right in a lot of zones. And so that's why I asked, because I would say some zones have a nice, here are the slow monsters, and here are the fast monsters, and it's kind of cool. You get this like up and down pacing, and it can feel kind of fun, where sometimes you're on edge and sometimes you're just obliterating things. And then you get the ones where you're like, holy, I've just been zoned 3 zones in a row where I'm just on edge, getting swarmed, like absolutely, and that creates this extreme negative feeling of like I can't do the things that my skills want me to do, and that is bad, and that I definitely want to fix that, and I want to fix that imminently. Like I'm going to immediately get onto doing that. So there is a huge range of spectrum of players that want different things here.
Yeah.
And I want to
I was
at
only
least
going to
address
watch
that
the
thing,
beginning.
'cause I
I'm
know that's just bad.
entranced.
Like, I think that's
okay,
bad
so,
for
so we're not going to watch the whole thing. Someone said 117 was a good clip. Let me go to 116 right here to get context, and then I want to watch the 117 part. Hold on. Go.
Gameplay, right? You're
Anyway.
recognizing as a player that you've entered a fight that you're maybe not fully ready for. You're maybe getting the boss to 30%. You're not able to finish it, and you're like, I have to leave. I have to leave this fight. I'm not strong enough. As opposed to punching the player with death, you're already just taking away the loot anyway. There's not an XP loss anyway at the moment.
I mean, that's. I guess we're not thinking in those terms at all. Like we're just like. But okay, sure. You're talking okay, like so. Okay, so that question I would say only makes sense in an attrition-based gameplay context, which is not what we have. So like it kind of means that like
Okay, gotcha.
the boss doing abilities to be able to the boss trying to win is or like and trying to kill you versus denying you the loot isn't a different circumstance unless there's attrition, which we don't have. So like it's. So what I'm saying is so what are you not agreeing with then about
I think you do have attrition-based combat on a lot of bosses, right? Because there are many of the like campaign bosses that don't necessarily have one-shots. But even just on like as a Viper, as an example, right? I was having a like quite long fight because I wasn't particularly powerful at Viper. So I think I had to reset 7 times without it killing me, but 7 times before I was able to actually kill Viper on my build because I was running out of flasks. And you don't have a good way to regen them during the fight.
So I'm not when I'm talking about attrition gameplay, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about attrition in the sense that your life pool is something that goes down over long periods of time rather than something that moves around.
Well, it effectively is through the fast, right?
Well, yes.
I was no longer able to recover.
So yes, to the extent that we have attrition-based gameplay, the attrition is through the flask. You are correct. Like attrition via flask is what we have. So what I'm saying though there. Well, okay, sure, fair enough. Like, yeah, the flasks do give you the attrition, and so therefore
the campaign is quite attritioned.
It's
just that
way,
the kind of cap comes off, so to speak, at Endgame, where like it can be very. It's certainly the case with a concept like Leech that the moment that a boss can't one-shot you at all, which.
Well, okay, like if you removed all sources of flask charge gain out, like that you could do in a boss fight, then you could probably reduce the size of the big monster hits.
Well, just to check real quick as well, just because specifically talking about Arbiter, there's kind of a few things going on.
What's Arbiter?
It is the intention that the skills, and which happens in the game and PoE 1 as well, and like some people might argue it's some sort of bad design or not. I kind of like it. There are other skills that are more like your personal agility or dexterity based, and you have to avoid them, and that's like stand in the elder donuts and the the dances and the like move into the lanes and the bullet hells-esque things where it's like that's not really your character as much. Like Are you thinking those are fine, or are those, whether or not they're exactly tuned in this context, like in terms of timing, but are you okay with the idea that those kill you and you don't get to make, like, whether or not they could be more lenient is a different question, but like, are you okay with those killing you and kind of your defenses don't really matter? Like, are those the problem? Is what I'm just trying to understand exactly what.
There's a
skills are
game that I'm
problem.
thinking about right now.
Yeah, so for the Arbiter, I feel like there are multiple, right? You have the corridor move. That was pretty much always a one shot, right? And sometimes, obviously, like you were saying, that wasn't like the main topic, but they can spawn almost too far away. I remember seeing a clip of like Quinn running slightly in the wrong direction, and then he sees the corridors the other way, and he's like, "Oh, it's over for me." You have the Arbiter move where he does like the fake out meteor, where he starts like firing the beam into it and stuff. I guess the way, like, as a player, I would want defense to be is the more I invest into defense, the larger my room for error should be, which is where I'm feeling there's a big disjoint now, right? Where it just isn't. And then I'm entirely incentivized to go full offense because I'm still having enough defense that those mid-range hits and small hits, they're still not one-shotting me. So all I need to be able to do is tank them. And then, yeah, I just don't have an option for huge one-shots at all.
Okay, so yeah, I understand the point of view from that one.
So Leech is busted and is problematic in Last Epoch. Case in point, Bleeding Heart was designed a long time ago and was added to the game when you didn't have as much damage. And Bleeding Heart gives up to 9% leech right now, which is way too much leech. And at some point, we are going to see the damage Leech's health on Bleeding Heart lowered. Leech is problematic. It actually just makes me think about Hades. And you can replace that with any roguelike, can't you? Where like you get hit and your health bar is going to stay at 75% for the next half an hour. Right? I kind of like that. Like it's not what action RPGs are right now. I don't know what you're talking about, the 9% stuff. What's this 9% stuff? What is this? Oh, Recombinators, 9% something? Okay, I don't know what that's about. But, yeah, I mean, I get the leech conversation. Like, if your health bar only goes between full and dead, then everything in the middle doesn't really matter.
The main thing is just we're going to have to be really careful with the balance to make sure that it isn't now just like,
Leech is tricky, yeah.
20% of investment of the way there. Now you don't get one shot by them, so you just hold down, whatever button on the boss or whatever, and now you're leeching permanently and you're fine. That's the concern. So like, if it is a like universal... Okay, like for example, would it be okay that, I mean, look, the corridor, let's use that as the example. So the corridor obviously has some like, okay, it's too hard to get, we need to probably improve the way the lanes spawn such that you don't get into that situation where like, this is literally impossible for me to run there unless I have X or Y. There is the thing where like, okay, for example, if like life regen wasn't regulated, like, do you really think any player in the game, like this is, I'm not saying this is wrong or right, should just be able to AFK in that?
I'm
just curious.
Yeah, so definitely I prefer that over watching people one-shot bosses. 100%. With enough investment.
Well, look, no, we won't disagree, but just like, I'm just curious, do you actually think it should be okay or able to...
Yeah, I'm not entirely against something just being a straight up one shot, like failing the memory game, for example, in PoE1. Like, I'm not inherently against that. But I do think the current ones are a little bit like too fast to be those one shots.
Yeah, I agree. I just think there is two problems here, which I'm interested in. One is mechanics feeling fair, which there are things here that are unfair, and that is bad, and they need changing.
Are there any other clips that I need to watch from this?
That adjusted today. And I'll get that on live as soon as I can, which might even also be today. The other thing would be
long. Holy.
That the bigger thing, which is that investing in defense is not allowing you to mitigate it. It's like so different from the corridor skill. There's just like whether or not investing in
Not
defense
really? Okay.
enough. It gives you enough defense against things in general, against the bosses, which maybe isn't the case.
Why are they talking about this? They're talking about
it might be that
recovery,
yes, investing in defense
one
needs to
shots,
be more advantageous right now for
leech.
sure.
Mhm.
And like,
Well, I've
don't
been
get
watching
me wrong,
Dumpster
there's
Fire.
nothing.
Have you ever seen a dumpster fire in real life? Are you telling me? Like, first of all, I don't think this is a dumpster fire. But like, if you saw a dumpster fire, you'd probably be like, "Ooh, look at this." I'd stop and watch. Like, I don't think this is a dumpster fire. But I would also stop to watch a dumpster fire. This is a good talk. There were some good moments. Like we watched like, I don't know, 10% of this talk. But even like I'm sitting here like, yeah, these are some really good moments. Jonathan made good points in the 10% of this 2.5 hours that I watched. He made a very strange point saying that if I get bored running chapter 1, testing it, then the game is boring. The back half gets testy and Jonathan gets defensive. That means I should watch it, right? I feel like I should watch it then.
You want to move faster?
Yeah, for sure. It is.
Sure. So I mean, I guess that would be the so
At the
really
end
it
of
just
the day,
comes back
what
to
people
that.
want. Move
Right.
faster implicitly and less dependency on the mod, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, whether or not it's implicit
Which
or
is the
based
key.
on the mod or anything, it's just I want to move faster, right? Like it feels like that's really the core.
Which
of
comes back to the
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
need to have those discussions and
Right.
Yeah.
It's similar.
A difference in PoE2 is that the implicits of uniques, especially things like life sprig, will scale into the endgame. Where, like, if I find a life sprig on my level 80 character now, it's never going to be usable early game. But the explicits on life sprig, and a lot of other caster uniques and things like that, they don't scale either. So have you explored the idea of the actual explicit scaling or the implicit not scaling so that you can find these like twink leveling uniques? Like, what are your thoughts around the uniques there?
I don't think we would want uniques to have the explicit scale like that. That's kind of not what uniques are about. So I just not that is not a particular solution. That
The
I would
bigger
want.
questions about whether or not the implicit, the skill should or shouldn't level up with the item.
Well,
I mean, it currently does, right?
It does.
It does. But something that could be interesting is that if you find a life sprig on a level 80 character, it can scale up to that level. So it would scale with your character. That would make it feel really good as a leveling item, for example. That you can use it at level 1, you hit level 3.
I really don't like that kind of thing. The whole like item that just scales with your character. Like, I don't think that we want to move in a direction where you'll have less times when you put items on your character as you level up.
That's
Like, that
fair.
doesn't feel like the right direction to me.
But there's also more whether, and there's a second part to that, which is whether or not life sprig should even have high level requirements ever,
Mhm.
which is a more
That's
a
a
thing
separate-
that's come up a bit.
That's
more,
a separate question. That yeah, that's come up.
I'm gonna fast forward to the end. Hold on. I want to see how it ends. Come on.
It is good because I mean, at the end of the day, it's just creating that collaborative environment between developer and player base that, and using users as the intermediary. And I'm sure all of these opinions yourself, you're part of that. But it is very important that we keep doing this because it will create greatness.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate you guys coming here. I've actually like as a rule for my podcast, I actually took something Jonathan said to heart really, really hard that I really liked. And you said that you really like when the interviewer like when it's their questions and not just on behalf of others because they're able to do better follow-ups and stuff. So I've
Yeah.
tried hard to focus on that as well, that it's things that I am able to do follow-ups on. So but yeah,
Alright.
thank
Awesome.
you guys so much for your
Thank
time.
Yeah,
Awesome.
thank you, and thank everyone for watching
Yep.
and playing.
We appreciate it.
Cheers.
Bye.
Right.
All right. I may have fast forwarded too much to the very end of it, but all right, cool. What about?
I don't think that's going to be the case. We value.
Can I go back to the beginning? Wait. Where is it? Wait, is it muted? I think it's muted. Hold on. Is he muted?
Was I channeling disappointed father energy?
So if you pause it, does the thumbnail come back up? Just... I feel like this is the best thing I learned all day today. I just Could I? You know, I think he's in my DMs. Hold on. He's in here somewhere, right? He's somewhere in my DMs. Hold on. Give me a second. Is this him? Where is he? I'll find him later. All right. Cool, Chet. It's 10 o'clock. That doesn't mean anything in particular, but we did 3.5 hours of catching up on stuff. So we have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, which is gonna be 3 additional days of spoilers for the upcoming April 17th season 2 launch. On the 11th, there'll be an interview with Aaron, and there'll be patch notes, which means on the 11th I'll be streaming for a nice long fucking chunk of time. Dread popped in chat here a moment ago. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Let's do a podcast on Saturday. Yeah, patch notes, baby. So we'll do podcast with Dread on Saturday, talking about everything that we discussed over the past 24 hours. At that point, yeah, that'd be good. Let's go host someone. Let's go do it, baby. Who's out there? Click. Who's doing what? I see Babbling Bikes online. We like babbling. Who else is online? Let's see. Do a little vibe check real quick. This person is learning Last Epoch. Their name is Scrimps, and they're playing a rogue. All right, nice. Let's go host someone who's learning the game. Hopefully they're hyped for the April 17th launch as well. I'll see you tomorrow, chat. Have a good night.